Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today. So you know he's going to keep us on track. Isn't that funny? Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good, man. I got a little riddle for you to start today's show.
Oh.
LeBron James, Asia Wilson, Lionel Messi, Kelsey Plum, Tua Tagovailoa, Alan Stiles. What do all these people have in common?
Oh, I know. They're left-handed.
International Left-Handers Day.
Wow, today is remember how weren't we talking about how Dave just got rid of the days?
Yeah, we were.
He just got rid of the days, and of course he got rid of. Wow, I did not know that. So I am in my bag today. Yeah. All of a sudden, I've been in, and you know I hate Tuesdays, so this will be a Tuesday that I'll be able to power through. We had Ben Ross on with you last week. Yes. He said he loves Tuesdays because it's one of the days that he gets off. So, I'll say, hey, Ben, if you're listening, I hope you enjoy this Tuesday because I will be enjoying mine. Who are the other lefties at the station? Am I alone?
Station?
Nate's not lefty. I don't think lefty. Simone's lefty.
You might be the only one. I don't think
I could see Kyle being lefty.
I could see Kyle being a lefty. I don't think he is.
Not Draper.
Yes, no. Yeah, I don't think Draper is
I could see Kyle Ledbetter being a lefty.
Wow. I think he might be the only one. I feel like I've seen Emil take a jump shot. I feel like I would have remembered if it was lefty.
But LeBron.
That is true. Emil and LeBron could be one and the same.
No,
Brendan is righty. Yeah, he's a psycho. He writes too much. I would have noticed. Have you ever seen his notes?
No.
They're crazy. Color coordinated in cursive. It's some real serial killer type stuff from Brendan there, but I believe you are the only lefty that I can think of.
Wow.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if anybody else in your family is left-handed, but have you ever traveled? Okay, so in San Francisco, there's a left-handed store.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Everything is built. You got left-handed scissors. You got pictures of all. I think I want to say
it's like things you would never think of that are like built for a right-handed dominant world. Yeah.
And you have pictures of Barack Obama, and I think Bill Clinton was left-handed as well. So all of us lefties sticking together.
It's always the pencil thing, right? That's always
it's all over my hand, the erasable pens, and not to get too dark here, but I last time I checked, lefties do die a bit sooner simply because we got to deal with the stress.
Fun,
Well, that too, but you got to deal with the stress of living in this right-handed world.
Yeah.
So when I'm driving, just to let you know, I do this.
Are you also left-footed?
When I play soccer,
yes. Yeah, like anything like that, you would lean
that
left.
Is correct. Okay. I do shoot pool right-handed, but I don't think that counts.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So when I drive, when the saying, when in doubt, turn right?
No, but sure.
Okay. Well, just to stick it to the man.
Yeah.
I know with maps now, I don't know why I would ever need that, but sometimes I like to hound dog it, and just... I just, because I'm in a new era. It's almost been a year.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I go to one of our local spots, I'll just say, babe, I'm not firing up the maps. I'm hound dogging it. So I try to remember how I got back. And if I forget, they say when you're lost, when in doubt, turn right. I always turn left. Just on principle to stick it to the man.
And that's why you get lost.
That's right.
All the time.
That's right. And gas is not cheap. Gas is not cheap. Well, great stuff, Chris. Hey, shout out to all the left-handers that are listening.
Sure.
916-339-1140. Text in, Sack Chat. If you are a lefty, we will shout you out. Wow, Chris.
Yeah,
thank you for letting me know. That slipped right under the radar.
Yeah.
As we get into what we have on the show today, 11 o'clock, the 11 o'clock hour, the Kings' best kept secret, according to Bleacher Report. But we want to hear what you think the Kings' best kept secret is or will be. So we will break all of that down. Law Murray of The Athletic, who does a lot for The Athletic as far as the NBA and also specifically with the Clippers. That's at 10:30. We got an early interview for y'all. And we will also break down Law Murray's connection to the Drew League, where one DeMar DeRozan balled out this weekend. So that is at 10:30. We will talk about who's the most likely king to get to the 2028 Olympics. I guess that doesn't necessarily mean basketball, Chris. Could be anything.
Come on, Chase Budinger, open the door.
It could be anything, but we'll get into that as well. And if you like baseball like me, next year is going to be full of it. You can dang near count on one hand
yes, you can.
The amount of days where there will not be baseball, pro baseball, being played at a high level, either AAA or Major League Baseball being played in Sacramento. Hot June nights, hot August nights, anything you need. So we will break down how many days there won't be baseball being played. But we start here, Chris, with an update on Brandon Ayuk, and this is from Tim Kawakami. You know he is just the man in the Bay Area and has all the connections. So the Athletic came out with a piece about an hour ago as we get into a bit of that. But Tim Kawakami then quote tweets his post, or the post of the article, and he says, "The Ayuk side and the 49ers side, from everything I've heard lately, remain unhappy with the way each has approached this. Still could come to an agreement, but it is unlikely to be all hugs and buddy. So it's over. So today, right now it's over. No, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Can't do it.
You have no choice. You have no choice.
I really don't.
And that's what we're talking about now.
This is just insane. I want it to be a joke. I really do. But seriously, every single day, this thing changes. And I can't keep up. I just can't. So now after, because the last news was they are coming together. Hey, don't be surprised if these two
re-engaging. That was Friday.
That was Friday. Exactly. Yeah. We didn't hear anything over the weekend. And now we're at the point where, guess what? That's not going to happen either. So are we back to square two? Was that actually square one where they are shopping him? I mean, can Pittsburgh just give something that is suitable, that the Niners accept, that Brandon Ayuk is okay with, so this can be over? Because these two, this does really seem like, with all the back and forth that has gone on, with the lack of communication there for a long period of time, it's not that this doesn't make sense. It's not that I couldn't see this in the range of possibilities, but it's just I don't know why it took so long if this is truly the finale of the Niners and Ayuk coming together. I don't know why it took so long for them to get to this level of finality. Again, it just feels like these two sides, whether they're happy with each other or not, need to come together to come to an ultimate conclusion on what the path is going to be, because we're pushing on week 2 of the preseason here, and whatever team gets Ayuk is probably going to want to implement him by week 1 here, and that's in a couple weeks. The Niners, if they are going to get anyone in return, are probably going to want to do the same. If not, try and figure out, okay, how are we going to navigate this season if he's actually not going to be here? So can they please, whatever they do, just do it?
Yeah, and Tim Kawakami, he basically was called out by somebody, and then he quote tweets it and essentially says, someone says, "I don't understand why they will not trade him if both sides are unhappy. That's a recipe for failure long term." Tim Kawakami says, 49ers are certainly willing to trade Ayuk, but just like they want to win the negotiation with him, they are also determined not to lose any trade. I've been critical of the 49ers handling of this situation, but I totally understand them wanting to get the most in trade value. He goes on to say, as I've said, the main 49ers error came in not realizing in April it could be this bad in August. Other teams have made their big contract-driven trades before the draft, gotten the picks, and been well on their way in August. Not the 49ers with Ayuk. That was the mistake. And from the Steelers side, and we're not necessarily sure what the Niners are fully looking for, but if you're the Steelers, you're so far into this, why don't you just give the Niners what they want? I mean, how much more could and maybe it is ridiculous. Maybe are they trying to Danny Ainge the Steelers? Is that what's going on here? Because if you're this far down the road, and to your point, I mean, there is a piece from Matt Mayoko talking about Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan saying he trusts Brandon Ayuk, that he's working on these things, or working on things on his own. And I don't follow Brandon Ayuk on social media or anything like that, and I'm sure he is, but we've seen this story before. So if I'm the Steelers, is it worth it to kind of nitpick and haggle, like me at the mall when I'm trying to get a new toy for baby Stiles, or just get him in the building? Because the last thing I want, and we talked about this with Trent Williams yesterday, the last thing I want is to get him in the building and you about you a little bit overweight or what's going on.
Sure.
And now
you got to learn a new playbook.
You got to learn the playbook.
You get comfortable with Russell Wilson throwing it 5 feet over your head.
I'll put it to you like this, Chris. And I've talked about this a lot because a lot of people have trainers, right? A lot of people have trainers. A lot of people go to they go to classes. And me personally, I'm not trying to brag or whatever. I feel like I can be self-motivated to go in and to work out on my own and things like that. But I would be lying to you if I said that I didn't work out a little bit harder when there were more people in the gym.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Just, okay, this guy's putting up weight. I want to put up weight too. Or you have a trainer to just, hey, let's make sure that you're doing, and I know Ayuk has a trainer, but the idea of being in that environment working out, to me, is different than working out on your own. So if you are going to give up a king's ransom, if you're the Steelers, either finish the deal or get out if you're the Steelers, because clearly the Niners aren't moving. And the longer you wait, if you end up saying uncle anyway, and now you get a Brandon Ayuk in I'm not trying to get back into yesterday here, in mid-August, right? And it could be mid-August or late August. We're getting closer now. We're in the teens at least. Yeah. And now you waited. You ended up giving up the king's ransom anyway. Yeah. And you got to implement a Brandon Ayuk who's just been working out on his own. It feels like there's a lot of lose-lose situations everywhere besides one Brandon Ayuk. That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's been the problem, is that he is a little bit too singularly focused on what I want, what he wants, what Brandon Ayuk wants, and he's not understanding that there's multiple parties involved in this, that frankly it's more important in terms of getting it actually done that they feel good about it. To your point, like, the Steelers aren't just going to they're not just going to give up on Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think that's the holdup from the Steelers side, is they're saying, you might say, hey, go out there and just make the deal happen. Well, if the Niners are asking for pieces that the Steelers feel like, well, what's the point in acquiring Brandon Ayuk if we're just going to get rid of somebody incredibly crucial to us? Well, that's not going to make sense for the Steelers side of it. And the Niners, they're not going to want to just take second-round picks because they're trying to – it's been talked about to exhaustion, but obviously they're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, and they can't – a second-round pick or a first-round pick, even if it isn't going to do them any good this year. So, it is a really complicated situation. I understand why it is being dragged out, and why, when you have so many parties involved that, like you said, are trying to win, you can't it takes a long time to get a perfect deal like that. I just, I hope that it comes to a conclusion soon. And I really don't know what the win for the Niners is. I know because of if the Steelers aren't willing to get rid of George Pickens, which again kind of falls into the why would they do that if they are trying to get better by acquiring Brandon Ayuk, you would obviously want to have both. I just don't see how the Niners can win without going out and trying to pursue a 3-team trade, which was kind of reported this weekend that they are going to try and find a third team that's willing to get rid of a receiver. But then again, you add a third team, that's another variable that you have to make happy.
And how often do we have to hear about, oh my goodness, how Brandon Ayuk blocks, whether we're talking about Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle? George Pickens don't want to block. No, he got caught out for that last season. So do the Niners even want a project that you got to deal with? And again, you're going to an offense where the ball will be dispersed. Yeah. So I got to block, and I don't even know how many touches I'm going to get. I don't think Pickens is the guy that the Niners would even want. Nate, how often does it feel like a 3-team trade even happens in the NFL?
I can't think of one. I think they're pretty under the radar if they do happen. It's like compensation stuff or like low-level practice squad guys. There's probably one glaring me in the face. Just nothing off the top of my head, which might say a lot.
Sure. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Coming up next, we get into the injury bug with the 49ers. Did we forget that conversation? How people thought the Niners were cursed for about the last 4 years when it comes to injuries? Well, unfortunately, it seems like they might be heading that direction. It's still early, but let's go over what we talked about so much the last couple years. We also break down some news around the NFL with Jerry Jones, the CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott situation. And J.J. McCarthy, I think I see Chris's tears falling on the studio table right now. They just dried. J.J. McCarthy needs surgery. All right, lefties, stand up. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
15 minutes, we will be joined by Law Murray. Got some NFL news to go around and the Niners injury bug. Also, in the Sack Chat, everybody is shouting out the lefties, okay, and on the text line as well. So all lefties stand up, National Left-Handers Day. If you're lefty and you have a friend or significant other or a kid who's got some money, they get to buy you dinner today. That's just how it goes. Sure. It reminds me, Chris, Daniel 916 in the Sack Chat says, I can sell you a left-handed bat. And it reminded me of, which is a joke.
Oh,
but
okay.
But it reminded me of in high school, a prank that you would say to the freshmen. You would say, hey, go in the shed and go grab the curveballs. And they'd be in there for like 30 minutes looking for the curveballs.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if you still do that. If you're a high school coach or someone, tell your kids, go tell the freshmen to go find the curveballs, and they'll be in the shed
just
for
look
hours.
You just look at them walk in, and they're just like turning baseballs. You're like, I can't tell.
Yeah, are these the curveballs? Where are the curveballs?
Those are baseballs, idiot.
Yeah, no, find the curveballs.
Brother, if I said grab the baseballs, then yes, you're good.
Law Murray in 15 minutes of The Athletic. Nate, you found some 3-team trades. How often they happen?
One of them is kind of shocking that we missed. But first of all, 1987.
Can we not mention that one?
Oh, okay. So Chris does know what I'm talking about.
I definitely, if we could just not mention that specific one, that would be great. There has to be other ones.
Well, I think it's important to mention. But 1987 Halloween trade, one of the biggest trades in NFL history.
Debatable.
The Rams, the Bills, and the Colts.
Oh, okay.
Traded 10 players in draft picks, so that's more players, including Eric Dickerson. Okay. So that was 87. Yeah. And then the most recent one 1989.
Okay.
The Herschel Walker trade.
Never heard of him.
There were 18 players traded with 3 teams, and that was the Vikings. They sent Darren Nelson.
Did you say 18?
18 players.
Because
players.
There were picks involved, and they obviously became players.
So the Cowboys, the Vikings, and the Chargers. So
that's it.
3 teams with 18 players. So that's
but I'm saying there's no more 3-team trades.
Those are the 2 that popped
but
up.
It's not.
It
just doesn't really.
Those
happen.
are significant.
So that it's not because Diana Rossini is the one all over this, and we know she knows what she's talking about. But even still, the chances of this happening seem slim. Not anything can happen.
It seems unlikely.
Well, it seems unlikely.
I will say there's an article right here from CBS. Will we ever see an NFL 3-team trade again? So it's kind of that's if that headline doesn't tell you.
If anyone can pull it off, though, it's the Niners.
Yeah.
First class organization. Okay, let's get to. I guess I don't know if you want to call this a first class organization. This Jerry Jones stuff, Chris, with CeeDee Lamb. I mean, basically saying I don't care. He says, CeeDee, you're missed, but you're not missed out here competing. And it doesn't put any pressure, any place on us. That is Jerry Jones on CeeDee Lamb. So if it makes Niner fans feel better about the Brandon Ayuk thing, everybody is dealing with it in some capacity. I've seen reports, Chris, that CeeDee Lamb might ask for a trade. And really, it's a bit confusing that neither side seems to care. So as much as we're talking about Brandon Ayuk needs to get out there, it feels like at least there's movement. The Cowboys, I mean, Jerry Jones saying, yeah, we're not really tripping. And
which is insane.
When you talk about leverage, Brandon Ayuk doesn't have that leverage. You got Debo, you got the whole crew. We know. I can't even remember who the other Cowboy receivers are besides CeeDee Lamb. They changed.
Michael Gallup's gone.
Yeah,
that was like the permanent stay.
The deep threat.
He retired, as a matter of fact. I think he signed with the Raiders and then retired.
So I don't really understand what Jerry Jones is doing. He's riding this thing into the ground. I'm here, Chris. Brandon Cooks, who has been the best player in theory,
Stockton's finest,
possibly in the history of the NFL. Jalen Brooks. Can I interest you in a Jalen Brooks?
No.
Can I interest you in a Kevontae Turpin? I thought Turpin was he a scat back?
There was Robert Turbin, I believe, who I think is also got some Sacramento ties, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. So what a mess out there. And obviously we saw Trey Lance do his thing, if you want to put it that way, during the preseason game. And Dak Prescott, he does his thing again. Dak Prescott from an Athletic article. From a cap perspective, it would actually make more financial sense for the Cowboys to allow Prescott's contract to expire after the season, eliminating the $26 million in dead money from future books. From a logical perspective, however, such a strategy could backfire because the temptation of the open market and the QB desperate teams, aka the Raiders, lurking, would pounce with offers that could shatter historical benchmarks. So I guess that makes a little bit more sense. The Cowboys are just trying to figure out what makes sense for them. But I mean, the Raiders, if Brock is if Brock is going to get 60 mil, I guess you can make the argument for Dak. I mean, Chris, I was saying, Dak did finish second in MVP voting, and he's looking for another bag. I did read he would be the only one out of these new big bags to get a super bag after the age of 30. So do with that what you want. And last but not least, Chris, I'll let you speak to this. JJ McCarthy needs knee surgery. I guess we don't really know how bad it is until they get in there.
Right. Yeah. We don't know the extent, like you said, until they get in there. Multiple different reports from some high level NFL newsbreakers and things like that. Ian Rappaport says, as most meniscus surgeries, there will be a determination made during the procedure to either trim or repair the meniscus. The trim would mean a few weeks. A repair would be many months. Also, Mike Garafolo puts out there a meniscus trim is about 4 to 6 weeks recovery. So Sam Darnold certainly in line to be the Vikings starter for week 1. Definitely hoping that it's a trim. 4 to 6 weeks would put him around week 2 or 3. And like I said yesterday on the show, I don't think he's going to play until like week 6 anyway, until after the Vikings bye. So more than likely, this is was already going to be the plan. Of course, they would have definitely preferred JJ McCarthy to be able to practice, but not really obviously just not ideal, but it's not the biggest setback for the Vikings, as I think they were already anticipating Sam Darnold going out there for the first couple weeks. If anything, this might push it a couple weeks further, but I'm still expecting JJ to start by the end of the year.
Before we get to Law Murray, we have here, guys, the injuries that we talked about with the Niners. These are some crazy numbers, Chris, and they got better. And really the question is, can the real San Francisco 49ers please stand up? This is from 2017 from our guy, Chase Senior. We got to have Chase back on the show soon with the Niners coming around. 2017, Chris and Nate, they were the 10th most injured team. 2018, they were the 4th. 2019, they were the 6th. 2020, they were the 1st. That was after the Super Bowl. 2021, they were the 3rd. 2022, they were the 9th. And not to rub salt in the wound because everyone thought they were going to get it done. In 2023, they were the 28th most injured. To put in perspective how good things went last season.
Most injured being 28th most being like
the least injuries. It's confusing, but yes, the least injuries. So that whole stretch, they're in from 2017 to 2022, they're in the top 10.
Yeah. I think the only competition with them is the Ravens too, because the Ravens are consistently, I think, that's the only team that comes to mind. The Ravens horrible, especially running back.
I was going to say Derrick Henry. I was really surprised. I mean, and Mookie Betts did you see he's not staying at the Milwaukee hotel because it's haunted? If I'm a running back, I don't know, Derrick Henry is a beast, but I'm not putting on a Ravens jersey. I'm not doing it. Me personally, I already got injuries.
Yeah.
But I like my ACLs and MCLs and all that, the CLs too much. I'm not doing it. So the average there, guys, is they're average the 8th most injured, and they're 5th most injured if you take out last year, if you think that's an aberration. Hopefully that's not the case. I saw the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, they're dealing with, they thought that was a knee, ended up being a hamstring.
Yeah.
But hopefully the Niners can get back on track. They had to cancel their joint practices with the Saints. They're just trying to get healthy here. So it is a rough go, and we'll see if they can get back on the right side of things. Coming up next, Law Murray of The Athletic joins us. We talk earthquakes, we talk DeMar DeRozan, and we talk, will the Clippers make another move? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
When you were young, all you wanted in the summer was an ice cream truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill out that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
Investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They believe it's all about people and choices. Their goal is to find the car that fits your lifestyle. With their huge inventory of models, they've got the right car and more importantly, at the right price every time. Experience for yourself why their customers drive away smiling. Discover the difference because it's not just about the car, it's also about the people. Experience the Sacramento Dodge Jeep and Chrysler difference off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks, or you can find them online, SacSuperstore.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
We are back, Stiles and Watkins, on a Tuesday. We are joined by Law Murray of The Athletic, covers the Clippers, but does much more than that. Law Murray, thank you for joining us once again.
The far side on this morning. Y'all got me in a good mood. That's what's
up. There you go. There you go. So, Law, we got to ask you because we know, you're down there in Tinseltown. What was the earthquake like? Where were you yesterday? Were you under a table? How did that go?
Man, so I'm actually from the East Coast. I'm from Philly, but I've been in LA since the summer of 2010. And so on one hand, I was like, damn, that must have been close.
Right.
I was chilling. I was getting ready to do an SNL pod, so I was cramming, watching Scarlett Johansson, bro. And I'm like, yo, why I look like somebody just dropped a thwomp? You play Super Mario, yes. But that's what I'm talking about. Right around the corner. But at the same time, I was like chilling because I've been in LA for 14 years. I'm like, I ain't gonna overreact. I'm gonna keep on going and do what I was doing. I just want to know where it was. Like, I was more curious about that than scrambling from some damn table. It's like, I'm chilling.
Right. Yeah, that's something else. Well, I didn't know you were from Philly. I went to school in Philly, so we'll talk a little bit later about that. But for now, let's get into the Drew League and really what it means in general. Can you explain what the Drew League is and why it is so significant to, I guess, SoCal basketball culture?
Yeah, the Drew League is a pro-am basketball league. Pro-am, so professional amateur. The Drew League is honestly probably the most well-known of all the pro-am basketball leagues. It's been around since 1973. Notable players have played throughout the decades. This is the 51st season to play. So the Drew League is a major institution in terms of basketball culture, not just in LA, but summer basketball scene, period. A lot of people will think that can be like, oh yeah, I remember the lockout summer from 2011 when Kobe showed up, LeBron showed up, KD showed up. I feel like everybody got a different perspective of the Drew after that summer. So I will say this was one of the quieter summers at the Drew, but the biggest name that showed up by far is a guy who's been playing in the Drew for damn near 20 years. And that's DeMar DeRozan. Like, DeMar has been a staple in the Drew. Like, he used to always say, it's like, I will always show up. I'll play basketball for free. Like, he loves hoop and he loves LA, and the Drew League is a perfect confluence of those two things. So it was not a surprise to see him show up, but everything else, he had never won the championship at the Drew before, so it was going to be interesting to see how this summer went.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. I didn't even know that DeMar had been playing for that long. I mean, I've obviously seen him play throughout the years. I remember him and LeBron, going, both playing at the same time in the Drew a couple of years ago, or however long ago that was. But
years ago.
How many was that?
That was 2 summers ago. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen at the Drew. Like, that was cinema, man.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I would just remember how insane, and it was just a madhouse there. And I mean, with DeMar scoring 54, and it seemed like from the reports, and I saw the video earlier this morning. I think it dropped yesterday. There was like a 15-point comeback in the fourth quarter or whatever. Is that kind of normal for the Drew with it being a pro-am and, obviously pros kind of being at that another level where you see them go off and sometimes leads do evaporate? Or was this kind of a special performance even for the Drew?
This was a special performance even for the Drew. Like you mentioned, the 15 points entering the fourth quarter. That lead was 25 with 3:45 to go.
Man.
I mean, if you check my timeline, I was posting because first of all, not only am I an NBA writer, I cover the Clippers. I know my way around the comeback. You know what I'm saying? But even for me, I was like, this game is a wrap. Like, there's no way that they do it. But I was also telling someone like 2 seats next to me, I was like, you keep playing the game. DeMar is different because any other NBA dude who's getting smacked in a Drew League championship game like this probably lays down and is like, this ain't my night. You probably going to be chuck of the year. But DeMar was highly motivated. And this is his city. You know what I'm saying? Like, DeMar wasn't going to, he's going to at least give his team a chance to win the game. And you just got to see what happens. Because some teams, they go up by 20 plus and, sometimes they know how to handle it, but sometimes they fold. Sometimes when they see a game going a certain type of way, they capitulate to the pressure. And that's what was happening. We knew Saturday that DeMar was going to get to the line a ton of times. That's just what DeMar does. He got to the line Friday night 12 times and made all 12 of his free throws. Like Sunday, he gets there 24 times by the end of it. But even DeMar wasn't really DeMar. He kind of had to ease into the game. Like he missed 5 free throws. Wow. He missed 5 free throws. And so like DeMar wasn't perfect by any means. Like one of the reasons his team was down by 25 is because DeMar was late. The defensive intensity wasn't there. The attention to detail wasn't there. Like they were giving up corner threes to these dudes. And that's the thing about the Drew League. Just because all these dudes aren't in the NBA doesn't mean they're not pros. Like these dudes a lot of these dudes are getting paid to play basketball year round, and they're doing it in circumstances where you got to love basketball. You're away from home. You're not in the United States. You're playing with a new group of guys every year, and then you come home because a lot of these guys are from LA, and they get a chance to play in front of their community. They get a chance to play in front of their family and friends in the summertime, but like when all that's over, it's like these guys are signing deals and going elsewhere to play basketball. So like they were getting professionally pounded, and then DeMar took the game over. And even then, like you don't see this in the Drew. I think in the whole history of the Drew League Championship, there's only been one game where a team overcame a larger deficit than the 25 points that DeMar's team was down by Sunday to win a Drew League Championship. And that game was 18 years ago. I wasn't even thinking of the Drew then. I was in college in Southwest Pennsylvania.
Talking to Law Murray of The Athletic. Law, you mentioned the Clippers and that you cover them. The Clippers, I guess, kind of clumped together with the Kings and all of those teams in the second tier. I mean, a lot of teams are off the Clippers with the fact that they lost Paul George and they're adding some guys like Derrick Jones Jr. I saw a report that the Clippers might be interested in trying to add another star as they open up the Intuit Dome and Julius Randle, maybe somebody to just kind of get them back to that star level that they had with Paul George. Do you think they'll make a move that would be viewed as big, like Julius Randle, or like every other team, are they going to enter the Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith sweepstakes? What do you think the Clippers do?
I'm not really looking for them to do any of that stuff right now, especially not Julius. Like Julius, to me, is a big name that would be a tremendously clunky fit. It would be like there's a lot of people who follow the Clippers and they think that Kawhi needs a power forward to be paired with because they think that, that would ease the physicality and probably keep him healthier somehow. I mean, that's a nice thought, but like, I don't think that's a priority for what the Clippers are trying to do to build their team. And for every Giannis or Zion, there are a bunch of, look at the forwards, like look at the Kings forward. Keegan Murray. Like you're not respect to Keegan Murray, but like you're not over prioritizing size and physicality just to match up with Keegan Murray. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys playing the 4 in the NBA right now, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, those guys were playing the 3 5 years ago. Like that's where you have to kind of look at the NBA and be like, okay, this is not 2004. So I don't think that the Clippers are looking at Kawhi and Derrick Jones Jr. at the forward spots and saying, oh, we need more physicality. We need a bigger body. And the thing with Julius is, and someone was very kind to bring this up to me not that long ago, that Julius shot incredibly well from 3 in the 2021 season when he won the MIP award, but he's been a sub 3-point shooter since then. He's really durable in the regular season, but Julius has missed either entire playoffs or been compromised in playoffs with his own durability issues. He's getting older. If Julius isn't 30, he's going to be over 30 very soon. I don't think that's a priority. we're gonna let the New York Knicks handle that. Maybe that's a good problem for them. So I don't see the Clippers as a team right now. I think that roster makes sense. I think they want to go into the season. You guys got to remember the fact that this time last year, they were in the James Harden negotiation sweepstakes with the Sixers, and that was incredibly disruptive. They had one kind of training camp, and a month later, James was on the damn roster, and they eventually had to dismiss pretty much all the principles that they had a training camp around. So I think that they want to give themselves the best chance to be a locked-in, defensive-focused team with a group of guys that need to develop some chemistry and to maintain that chemistry. And we'll see what that looks like several months from now as far as how they evaluate the roster from there.
Last one from us here. Just curious what you're most excited for, what you think the coolest feature of the new Intuit Dome is. I see your pinned tweet is you actually balling at the Intuit Dome. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then, what feature do you think fans are going to be most excited for in that new state-of-the-art building?
Well, I appreciate y'all bringing that up. I try and
I got you. Hey, man, you're looking nice. I see some left-handed layups in here, some like full court left-handed layups. What are we talking about?
I try to put the athletic in the athletic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
somebody's got to.
Some respect on my name. And I couldn't make a shot that day, so I'll tell them myself. Like, I couldn't make threes, but I know how to play the game without making shots. Not everybody knows how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that court that I was playing on is a publicly available court that you can book. Okay, that's one of 5 courts.
Wow.
They have a court outside that anybody in the public can basically play on. Like, it shuts down 2 hours before official events. But other than that, anybody can just go and hoop, get shots up. It's a full court outside. The practice court looks amazing. The actual court itself, there's just not. I've been in every NBA arena except for the one in Toronto, which I need to get my passport and figure that out. My editor is listening. But, like, I will say that this will be a different game experience. To see that huge Halo board during games, I'm excited to see actual games. And we can't talk about the actual games until October. Like, schedule coming up this week. I'm very excited for schedule week. I made sure not to take PTO this week. I'm all over this. I can't wait to see what the Intuit Dome actually means for the Clippers as far as having one of the absolute worst schedules over the last quarter century. And I mean, Sacramento fans kind of know that, look, their schedule is different than the Golden State schedule a lot of years. Every year I look up and I see a Sacramento Kings schedule and I see that they have some obscene road trip right around daylight savings right in March. And so, like, I'm that's what I'm looking forward to. I think as nice as the building is, the logistics are the most important thing here. Like, the Clippers, Steve Ballmer would have been perfectly fine if he was still in downtown LA. He didn't think he needed an arena, but then he experienced one season of a Clippers scheduling logistics where they're not even the second in line, they're the third in line behind the Kings and the Lakers for the winter portion of the scheduling. You got the Grammy trip every year. That's why this arena is built, and this week we will find out the value of Intuit Dome right away.
Law Murray, thank you so much. As always, man, you can check out all of Law Murray's stuff at The Athletic. Law, we will have you on again soon. Always a pleasure. And next time I'll get to ask where your favorite cheesesteak spot is. But we got to save it for next time. It's a reason for you to come back.
And no doubt. Y'all enjoy your day.
That was Law Murray of The Athletic. Coming up next, there is new Brandon Ayuk news, and Chris is very excited about that. No, it's from Ian Rappaport. So we have that. We recap everything we heard from Law Murray, and we have some fun with good old Mayo Man. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton and Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Harmony, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by RVs of Sacramento and Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we make the dream of owning a new car easy and stress-free.
With prices that you just can't say no to. Save on our best selection of the year during the final days of the Honda Summer Event.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com. #1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. L1 report.
Waddy here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
thanks again to Law Murray. So I think at the beginning, Law wasn't playing through. So it sounds like Law is left-handed. Is that what we missed? Because he came on and we couldn't hear him at first, and he said, "So I'm in it." I started hearing him when he said, "So I'm in a good mood."
No, I think he was talking about the rejoin song.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then you said lefty layup, so then I thought, oh, is he left-handed?
Oh, no. I was just actually lefty layups are tough. I mean, if you're right, I mean, regardless, right or left-handed, your offhand layup is always.
I got both.
That's kind of the
he made me want to hoop
barrier of entry. If you're like, I mean, I am not great at left-handed layups, so that's how I can tell you that if left-handed layups are just casual for you, you are no questions asked. You're a baller.
That's what happens when we're apart for 6 days or 6 work days. Our chemistry gets destroyed because but he was talking about the far side.
Yes,
I heard him say that.
That's
like
what
he said when he came back.
First thing I heard, far side.
Okay. I heard left strong side, left side.
Oh, I heard far side. Yeah.
Far side, like what from
Remember
DC?
From
or
DC?
The bad guy, Farsight.
What?
Gotcha.
From the DC character?
Yes.
You mean Dark Side?
Yes, Dark Side.
Jeez, man.
Yes, I was like, I know what you're talking about. It's just
Did I say Far Side?
No, you said
Far
Scythe,
like a
Grim Reaper scythe.
Yeah. Shout out Law Murray, and really interesting stuff. What he had to say about the Clippers. Really,
now I want to go to Intuit Dome. I'll tell you that. I already did want to go, but can we get some pop-up courts here in at Golden One?
But again,
let me use the practice facility.
That they got space at Doco.
They can make some things happen.
Running.
They got that
get
court
the media
upstairs.
run.
It's like a Kaiser Permanente half court.
Yeah,
it's just on display. Upstairs.
Somebody getting yammed on. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Real quick, as we get back into this Brandon Ayuk stuff, let's get to Sam and open up the phone lines 916-339-1140. Sam, what you got for us? You tired of Ayuk?
Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Well, here's what I would do with Ayuk. There's plenty of receivers out there. I'm going to grant you Ayuk's one of the best. And the position the 49ers have been most glaring missing has been that right side of the offensive line. They cannot run there. They can only run behind Trent Williams, and they do not have anyone that has been able to do much over there. So I would take Ayuk, and I would go after a top-line offensive tackle or guard, a right tackle or guard, and now to go get a star out there and shore up that offensive line and let Ayuk go to where he may. But at least you have a great trading chip in Ayuk to get something of value. So that would be me. If I was the 49ers front office, I'd shore up that right side with Ayuk.
No, thanks for the call, Sam. And
all right. Thank you, boys.
Thank you. And again, and I like to poke fun, especially when Nate is behind the glass just with the Niners. But the thing is, Chris, when this whole thing is coming out, saying that the Niners want a wide receiver back, this is where this stuff, and by the way, they signed, now I'm going to get it wrong, it's Robbie Chosen.
There you go. Yes.
Robbie Chosen.
Yes.
Okay. Robbie Chosen Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. T for Temple U. That's my guy. He went to Temple as well. And
probably the skinniest dude in the league.
Yeah. Well, he can run though. He can run. So you have, you sign Robbie Chosen.
Yeah.
You draft Ricky Pearsall.
That's right.
But the reports are that you still wanted a wide receiver back. This is where this stuff starts to not make sense to me. Because if you knew and that's what Tim Kawakami was saying, none of this stuff makes sense. If your answer to we think that this could go south with Brandon Ayuk, so we're going to draft Ricky Pearsall. Okay, well, that's cool. But now in the negotiations, you're saying we need a wide receiver. To Sam's point, no, you need other stuff.
Yeah, you need a ton of other stuff.
The whole reason you're not paying Ayuk is because you don't feel like you need Ayuk.
Yeah,
so why do you need a wide receiver back in a trade?
That you'll be paying, not to Ayuk's money. But
right. And none of it makes sense. I mean, and I know we have some fun, but the Niners, they are normally very calculated here. And this seemed like a pretty big misstep and a couple missteps in a row. I mean, and maybe Ricky Pearsall will be nice, but just a couple things that just were, I would say, uncharacteristic from what we've seen from the Niners front office.
Yeah, I think Kawakami said it best in saying that the real mistake was just not making the trade on draft night or leading into the draft all those months ago when we already knew that this was potentially going to be a problem. I think the Niners just thought it was going to be swept under the rug at this point. They should have made a trade on draft night or leading into it, so they could have addressed. They still could have gotten Ricky Pearsall, but maybe to Sam's point, they could have taken an offensive lineman high in the first round instead, or on top of that addition, or they could have taken one of the many receivers that went in this year's draft that a lot of teams are very excited by. I know there was probably not a chance that they can get maybe like a guy like Malik Neighbors, but Roma Dunze went in the top 10, I believe, and you could have. There was, I think, 3 or 4 receivers that went in the first 20 picks. You probably could have gotten in the race to get one of those guys. I think that's really where this thing went wrong for the Niners is they miscalculated how they could have gotten this deal done. I think that they didn't even think this as the worst case scenario. And I mean, to me, it's too late to recover your losses. I would definitely try and do exactly what Sam said. I would try and get an offensive lineman definitely on the right side, or try and get a corner. Try and get you're probably not going to end up getting a Minkah Fitzpatrick, but can you get somebody who can make an impact with that DB room? Or maybe we've seen the Niners last season load up on the defensive line. Didn't really work for them all too well, but maybe that's a strategy that they go for again.
Coming up next, we have that report that is all over media now from Ian Rappaport on the newest on Brandon Ayuk. As the 11 o'clock hour rolls on, we get into our Kings Talk 11:30, the Kings' best kept secret. What says Bleacher Report and what say you? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
The NBA app is everyone's app. Every fan of every team.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone who follows LeBron, Tatum, and Embiid in the app. Every warrior who's ready to go to battle over three-point percentages. Every streetwear king who's here for the tunnel fits. Every young buck, nugget, and grizzly who wants to take a peek behind the scenes of the league. And everyone else on this floating basketball we call Earth. Download the NBA app today. Available in the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Welcome to the Tap House Restaurant at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course. With an array of local craft brews from a selection of 20 taps, the Tap House menu boasts freshly made sandwiches, crisp salads, and a variety of specialty entrees. The Tap House is the perfect place for a round after your round at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course, especially during happy hour from 3 to 6 daily. Drop by the Tap House Restaurant for scenic views, exquisite food, and a hearty welcome. The Tap House at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course.
Jerry and Kenny here. When you call Bell Brothers for an AC tune-up, repair, or replacement, let me tell you what you can expect. Clean.
Our technicians will show up in a company truck that's clean inside and out. They'll be wearing a clean uniform and ring your doorbell with clean hands.
The technician will be clean cut, background checked, drug tested, and trustworthy to enter your home. They'll put on clean shoe covers and put down drop cloths in all work areas. That's right, to make sure your home stays clean.
And when the work is complete, they'll tidy up and leave the work area cleaner than they found it.
Call us neat freaks. Call us spick and span. Call us tidy, pristine, and immaculate.
But whatever you do, call Bell Brothers for an AC tune-up and repairs, because with us, you can count on it being clean. Call us at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Labor Day savings on now at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 9/3/24.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Who's ready? Who's ready for the update on Brandon Ayuk? After this, we talk about the 2028 Olympic Games, which will lead us into the Kings and their best kept secret throughout this 11 o'clock hour. Stiles Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. Shout out to all the lefties. I think I saw, let's see here. I haven't seen anybody on the text line yet. And that's right, Ward. We were talking about Justice League in the last segment with Dark Side, but Curtis Hicks is a lefty. I think Aaron is a lefty as well. Trying to see who else is in there. Got to give a shout out to all the lefties. Best lefty athlete. We can have a conversation about that.
We got our De'Aaron Fox. We got our Sabonis.
Oh, the Kings have plenty of lefties. Yeah. That's how I knew I was home.
2 now.
Right.
To Sasha. Well, Sasha was a big factor.
Sasha was a lefty. Yeah. James Harden a lefty. So keep them coming in. Your favorite lefty. Obviously, there's Ken Griffey Jr., but your favorite lefty athletes of all time as we get into this Brandon Ayuk situation. We talked about the Tim Kawakami earlier in the show. Now, Chris, we have Ian Rappaport, we have Diana Rossini. So while we were talking to La Murray, Ian Rappaport puts this out, and it's just going crazy. Everybody's taking it and flying around with it. And he says this: update on Brandon Ayuk. The Steelers and Niners have a deal on a potential trade, and Pittsburgh is in a good place on an Ayuk contract, sources say.
Okay.
If SF gives the final sign-off, it's done. It's done.
I feel like we've heard that before.
He then says SF has an offer to Ayuk on a long-term deal for him to stay. He hasn't accepted. What we don't know is if that's a different deal than the initial $26 million AAV, and what is that the same deal or not? That's what I'm not sure about. Diana Rossini goes on to say, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been waiting for days to hear from the San Francisco 49ers on a possible trade for Brandon Ayuk. The Steelers are just in wait-and-see mode. So how some people are interpreting this, Chris, they're interpreting this as the Niners saying, last call.
Take it or leave it.
Last call, Brandon. If you don't want this, it sounds like SF could give the final sign-off. So I guess I don't know if they're, and again, Brandon Ayuk will probably comment on somebody's post and say this is false. So who knows?
Right.
But this is from Ian Rappaport 30 minutes ago and Diana Rossini essentially saying some people are taking it as one last dance for Brandon Ayuk with the Niners. The Niners say, hey, are you sure you don't want this deal?
Yeah.
And if Brandon Ayuk says no, it seems like they will. That it's kind of, I don't know if it's leading or not.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems like if he says no, the Niners will do the deal. But I'm not really sure. They say they're in a good place on the Ayuk contract.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily saying, he's saying the Steelers and the 49ers have a deal on a potential trade, and Pitt is in a good place on the contract, the Ayuk contract. If SF gives the final sign-off, it's done.
It's done.
So we don't know if the if is because SF wants more or they want to confirm with Brandon Ayuk
that he wants to go through with it.
Yes.
Or doesn't want to go through with, or wants to stay on the Niners, or if he wants to go through with the trade. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that does seem like progress, I guess. I did say I think we've heard a version of this before that, hey, but I think last time it was on Ayuk. I believe, we had reports that, okay, the Niners are comfortable with deals. I think that was at the time with the Browns and maybe with the Patriots as well, but Ayuk wasn't signing off on it. So at least this now seems like, and please clear me up if you have a different understanding, but this sounds like the ball is now officially in the Niners court in the sense of everything is squared away. It just takes the Niners saying, okay, let's do it. We accept these terms. And we still don't know, I guess, if the Niners like the deal, like which side sent the trade. Is this a Steelers trade that the Niners sent that is on the Niners table? Is this a Niners send the Steelers things, they agree on it, but again, there is a holding for waiting for Ayuk to give it again is incredibly confusing just as a situation, but at least this does seem like we are headed towards somewhere. And I do wonder, I mean, we've asked the question, what does Brandon Ayuk want? We've asked that question to exhaustion. What do you think the Niners actually want out of this?
But that's what's so funny. If you're sitting there
at this point, I
right,
guess that should be, of course, they at the time would have said, yeah, we want a receiver to be able to replace Brandon. And then at that point, whatever, of course, we wanted to keep him, but he didn't want to be here. But at this point in the process, what do you think the Niners actually want as the result of this?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people say that the Niners must be making one final push to try to keep Ayuk.
That would be my answer. I would think that
the number is the number.
Yeah, exactly.
The number is the number.
They don't want him at 28 or 30.
Or they haven't so far. So if you're not going to change that number.
That'll also be fascinating too. I don't know where, because who knows who will actually give us the right numbers, but like what was the max at any point in this process? What was the most money the Niners threw at Ayuk? Was it ever 27? Was it ever 28?
Yeah.
Did they maybe at some point say, look, 30 and we can just call this a day? I doubt it, because I think that would have gotten it done. But I'm really curious as to what really was the difference that made this thing completely blow up.
By the way, in the 1 o'clock hour, we have some bold predictions. We're going to go back and forth in a segment called Bang or Bust. We'll do this for the NBA as well, but this one is the NFL edition. So I guess this is what it comes down to. This might be our last time. Well, I'll say this, and then this will drag on for another week. But Bang or Bust, Ayuk starts the season with the 49ers. And Nate, you can hop in here too. Bang or Bust, Ayuk starts the season with the 49ers. Or, is on the 49ers at the start of the season.
Can I add a layer of complexity? Plays or is on the team week 1?
Either way, he is still on the roster.
Okay.
He is still on the roster week 1 against Rodgers and the Jets. And we don't know if Hassan Reddick's going to be there.
On the roster, not playing.
That's your bet?
Yeah.
I could see that. That's kind of where I wanted to go, but I don't think.
Yeah, you guys haven't. The Hassan Reddick situation is crazy.
I was going to say,
because
there's also Reddick. You got Matthew June on as well, asking potentially to be out for the Patriots.
Reddick, as far as I know, has been fined over $1 million. In over 20 days of holdouts.
T for Temple U,
which is crazy.
Trent Williams isn't far behind.
The Jets. Yeah. The Jets are just. Why does this always happen to them? Like, what is wrong with the Jets? They don't seem like such a joke franchise, but they are. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be, but they are.
I mean, it is a cautionary tale of why exactly, I asked you yesterday, like, why don't the Niners just do a deal and then say, like they're treating Brandon Ayuk like he pretty much has a no trade clause. Why don't you just trade him and say, we'd like the return, forget it? This Hassan Reddick situation is exactly why you can't just ship somebody off and have the other team not work out their end of the deal, because what you don't want is just that, well, I guess the Niners would want it, but what the other team doesn't want is just you pass the bill over to them and then they're stuck with the bill and saying, well, we don't want to pay this bill either.
Well, it's the same thing, bringing it back to the NBA quickly, is Pascal Siakam.
Sure.
Right. And the Pacers saying, we'll give you the King's ransom as if we have his word that he'll sign the extension.
Yeah,
and that's why the Kings were like, well, we're not going to do it if he's not going to stay.
Yep.
So that's what the Jets are dealing with right now. The Jets
calculated risk, I guess.
Either Hassan Reddick went back on it, or they just never, which is possible, or they never had that conversation. Because that man
get the towel in the building,
which is crazy too. Because I don't know if it's a Salah thing, because Hassan Reddick, he was a dog on the Eagles,
for a long
and
time.
that defense is ridiculous for the Jets. You get Aaron Rodgers back. I mean, there's worse places to be, brother. Like, I don't really know what the problem is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, especially being on the defensive line. It's not really like, scheme doesn't play a huge factor into anything like that. It is pretty individual based.
It's not like a wide receiver. Oh, this is a running offense.
I don't like the quarterback. Like you said, if he's got a problem with Saleh, maybe that's the issue, but there's not really much reason to not want to be on the Jets these days. I mean, besides the fact that in general they have been as a franchise a pretty dumpster fire, but that division's also pretty weak. You got the Dolphins probably, but the Bills lose Stephon Diggs. We'll see what that does to their top end talent. Jets seem to be in pretty good position to be the number 2, maybe even the number 1 team in that division. I don't really see what, without knowing the inner complexities of what's going on with Hassan Reddick and why he isn't liking the Jets, I don't really see what the problem is there.
Yeah, I'm seeing here, just to go back to everything the Niners are dealing with now. Not only is this the joint practice thing about the Saints.
Yeah.
David Lombardi said this yesterday. The Niners will not hold any joint practices this year. Kyle Shanahan ruled out the possibility of traveling to Las Vegas early to scrimmage the Raiders before the preseason Week 3 game. So there are a lot of issues going on right now in Santa Clara, San Francisco. And you got to at least, if you come home, Chris, and you got to do some real deal adulting. And you got to do your laundry. Yep. You got to do the dishes. You got to pay the bills. Yep. You got to go to Costco. You got to do a lot of different things.
It's the worst.
The number one, after you sit there and you just think about how much stupid crap you have to do, you got to start checking things off. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just get the laundry in. Let me just get the dishes in the dish. Let me do something. And the Niners
take a chunk away.
This stuff is piling up, and they have not crossed anything off. And that's why I feel like this Brandon Ayuk thing is going to end, because you got what's their laundry?
Trent too.
They got Trent. They got the injuries. They got Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Okay, they got Ricky Pearsall dealing with his stuff.
They also have some emotional baggage that I'm sure they have to deal with.
Emotional baggage. All right, CMC, I know he said he'd play if there was a game tomorrow, but the CMC calf injury, the laundry list of issues, and I
think backup quarterback's a problem too.
And we're going to get into that. You have to cross off something, Chris.
Yeah, not a single thing. Not a single thing. But, Brock looks great at practice. He looks buff.
And he's yoked. Quad Purdy. So are you going bang or bust?
I am going, I guess we never got that answer. I'll go bust. I think he does get dealt before Week 1. I have to believe it, Alan, because my mental state will not be in a good shape if we're talking about this for 3 more weeks.
I think it's bust. I think he's gone. I think he's gone. Good. I think the only reason he might stay is what the Niners and what they're asking for. Just like I said earlier, if you thought that it was so easy to replace Ayuk, then you wouldn't be begging for a wide receiver in return. And again, these are a lot of reports out there, so who knows what they're actually asking for. But if they are asking for a receiver in return, like we've heard, so you don't need Ayuk because you have your pieces, but you still need some type of receiver.
Yeah.
It just made the whole thing a little bit convoluted to me. So the only reason I think that it could still happen is because of what we heard. All right, well, the grass isn't always greener for us either. Let's just keep Ayuk. I mean, he is a security blanket for one Brock Purdy, who you're about to pay a lot of money to next season. But with all that being said, I think that pride is a part of this as well.
Sure.
So I'm going to go with bust. I think Brandon Ayuk's days, whether he regrets it or not, we'll see, because it's cold in Pittsburgh. It's going to get cold.
To Nate's point real quick, too, I just want to say that, if Ayuk does stay, I was just thinking, there's just no way he plays. Like, if he is still going to be on the Niners, there's because the way that this thing all comes to a head is if he does play and he gets hurt, at that point, it's like, oh, this is why he was so adamant about getting a new deal, because if they just this is it for him. I mean, if he's not getting paid by the Niners this offseason, obviously with Brock's deal right around the corner, he's just not going to be able to get it. So if he is going to be on the team, I don't see any path for him actually playing.
What is next for Team USA? Will there be a Sacramento King in 2028? That will lead us into our Kings conversation for the best kept secret on your Sacramento Kings at 11:30. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Shoulders, chest.
Wipe me down.
Shoulder.
DJ Bet. All right. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Oh, I saw something. So Nate sends me this. Nate, obviously I saw that song came out, Quavo and Lenny Kravitz, and I saw something, and it's one of those tweets that says, "What is Quavo doing? Putting out this trash. We miss, the old Quavo," something like that. And then the quote tweet was, "What is Quavo doing? He's getting into movies. He's getting into promos. This song will be played everywhere. You got to think bigger, my brother." Okay.
I mean, I did hear that it's going to be in Madden already, so,
That's how it was. That came out as it was coming out, right?
Yeah.
That was the announcement. And I think I sent it to you 3 hours after it came out. So sorry for... you're mad at me that of course I already saw that.
I already saw that.
Okay.
I already saw that. Yeah.
I can't wait for your guys' new intro.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure you will be working on that as the Team USA basketball team begins to work on the future. Chris, LeBron James says, "I can't see myself playing in LA." And he said that about the 2028 Olympic Games. Steve Kerr is also likely to retire as Team USA coach, which means a new lead voice for 2028 in Los Angeles. And long story short, a lot of people think it's going to be Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, I'm sure Warrior fans are thrilled
that
they no longer have to watch during their summer Steve Kerr play coach basketball, as well as they were just all over him.
I mean, Draymond said you got to scrap them rotations.
Crazy. So I'm sure Spoelstra's going to do great. He's obviously well respected and a little bit more of an X's and O's guy than the vibes machine that is Steve Kerr. But I think that's probably a good spot. And LeBron, I guess that's not really super surprising. He would be we said yesterday, he turns 40 in December, so he would be 43 doing the next Olympics. I think it's okay. I think it's okay if he takes that back seat, and we'll see. I think Kevin Durant maybe has a shout, but with how his lower body has kind of treated him the second half of his career, probably not a probability. You might see a lot of Jason Tatum, but that's really that's probably the extent of the star power we're going to see. Maybe Anthony Edwards too, but I would expect that we'll probably see a lot more guys who are younger right now in the Olympics. I wouldn't expect a lot of holdovers from this group.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, and we've seen a bunch of projections.
Everybody's
already.
got one.
Who was the craziest?
God, your guy. You remember your guy? You sent me this yesterday.
What?
Who took notes of the predicted Olympic 28 roster?
Yes, of course.
Do you want to let the people know?
Yes. And I thought I'd find myself onto his note-taking list.
I did too. I'm honestly shocked
for some of the things I said last week. But Legion Hoops put out their prediction, their prediction for the Team USA roster: Ja Morant, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Paolo Banchero, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Zion Williamson, Bam Adebayo, Cooper Flagg, Chet Holmgren, and Anthony Davis, and none other than Brandon Pajemski with the note writing emoji says, okay, all right.
Incredible.
Who are we removing from Brandon Pajemski right now?
Nobody.
Because remember, it's guards, right?
Yeah.
So Ja Morant, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, and Donovan Mitchell.
I don't know, like maybe Mark Few doesn't have to coach anymore, and we can put Pajemski on the coaching side, because there's not a single player I'm going to replace this fool with. Maybe he could be the curator of vibes or something like that, but I'm not allowing this man on my U.S. roster.
Well, and there's
not my America.
No.
Come on.
And there's a level here.
What are we doing? Country's gone to South.
There's a level here where it just gets a bit, and I don't have a problem with, obviously I would consider myself a pretty confident fellow, and I have no problem with confidence, but it just gets a bit annoying.
You haven't confidence and cocky.
You haven't done anything in the league yet.
Yeah.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox, he's not even posting stuff. There's so many.
What percent do you think he's joking?
I don't think he's joking.
I don't either.
No,
I
he's
just
not
wanted
joking.
to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And I don't know if we've been completely clear here. Brandon Pajemski saw a projected roster for the 2028 USA team, and he is taking notes. He is using a taking notes emoji as if to say, where am I at?
Yeah.
And it's
a funny joke.
I mean, you got who are the guards?
We don't have enough time if we're going to list all the guards that are more deserving than Brandon Pajemski. We literally don't have time.
We don't. Well, obviously number one, De'Aaron Fox,
15,
Darius Garland,
20 people. I'd probably rather have somebody convert from their country over to America. Like, can we? Like, I would much rather get creative. Can we get Corey Joseph out of Canada and get him to play for Team USA while we're just throwing random bench players onto Team USA? I guess.
I didn't even think about Trae Young.
Trae Young, much more deserving. Kyrie, much more deserving. I'm even just trying to think of younger point guards that I would rather see.
I mean, it gets a little dicey if you bring up LaMelo.
I was literally going to say I would much rather see LaMelo Ball. I think that there's a better chance that Cade Cunningham springs back from injury, and I honestly would rather see Lonzo Ball than I would see Brandon Pajemski. I swear on everything, there is no reason. I mean, I know he's kind of in the mold of like a Derek White-esque player, but I just don't think I especially don't want to see him on Team USA.
Would you say that
where's Trace Jackson Davis at?
Well,
the best rookie duo we've ever seen.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk like Pajemski. Would you say, because I saw Cade Cunningham on a couple lists, if you are a Kings fan, seeing Cade Cunningham, should that make you feel like De'Aaron Fox is disrespected? Because I feel like it's a little disrespectful to see Cade Cunningham on more than one projected roster and not see De'Aaron Fox anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's kind of out of sight, out of mind with De'Aaron. Not that I guess Cade Cunningham's been very out of sight, so I guess that's not really a fair argument. But it's more just, I think De'Aaron, people don't consider De'Aaron part of the pool because, I mean, they probably just haven't thought about the reasons why. I mean, De'Aaron didn't want to be a part of this Olympic team, this specific one as well. He he just essentially said, I don't want to deal with the politics of it. And once he heard Steph and LeBron and KD were all joining, he kind of was like, this just doesn't really seem like my kind of jam. Maybe he'll change his mind these next 4 years. You can do a lot of good in your 4 years to kind of build up goodwill with Team USA basketball. But I think De'Aaron's got to be willing to play ball. And I'm not sure he is. Play ball metaphorically in terms of politicking off the floor in order to kind of get that. And I just don't think he really cares, especially with, I don't think the Tyrese thing really, really matters, but there's a lot of younger guards who have also kind of staked their claim that they want to be a guy that's in there. Like I'm Honestly, I would bet that Jalen Brunson makes the team over De'Aaron just because of, again, the politics of it all.
And he's on the Knicks.
Exactly.
Some names, I'm just here, Chris, looking at the different guards. I
would
go
Jaw's kind of crazy to me. It's not crazy. It's just like, I don't think that's a guarantee.
Everyone's acting like it's a guarantee. Yeah. Tyler Hero. Okay, that's a name.
And De'Aaron better. Yeah, at that point, I'm just saying, politics put to the side.
Damian Lillard. I mean, he's older.
He's gonna be older at that point. He might be like pushing
what is he,
40
at that point? Yeah,
he could do it, though. I mean, we didn't think 4 years ago, we definitely didn't think LeBron, Steph, KD were going to do it.
Right.
So who knows who steps up at that point.
Yeah, but I think
in
it's
LA, too. That's a big marketing opportunity.
Right, and I think it's the Podziemski trying to jump over, I would say, the Trae Youngs, the De'Aaron Foxes. Those are the two for me. And if you want to put Kyrie in there, and obviously Jalen Brunson, I mean, there's just that's 5 right there just from looking at a quick list.
Even like Jalen Green, I think, has a better chance than Brandon Podziemski. Like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, but hey,
especially when Steph's gone too. Ain't no one gonna be paying attention to the Warriors. But
he's untouchable, and that's why we love
the face of the franchise pretty soon.
That's why we love confidence. And what about can we see a Keegan Murray, Devin Carter?
No way. There's no way. I mean, not no way they make it. There's just no way they're gonna be considered leading into it.
If Keegan goes crazy these next couple years, you never know.
I'd love it.
You never know. Coming up next, maybe that's because Keegan.
That's right.
Is the Kings' best kept secret. Ooh. We'll see who Bleacher Report says is the Kings' best kept secret. Then we'll give our best kept secrets, and we want to hear who you think is the Kings' best kept secret. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
When you were young, all you wanted in the summer was an ice cream truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill up that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been? I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthabite.net.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Arby's of Sacramento and Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price,
We immediately removed their legal burden and introduced them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers, too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks or online sacsuperstore.com. Big inventory and the right deal. Experience it for yourself and see why their customers drive away smiling. It's the Sac Superstore difference.
You drove the miles and your tires are done. Got to shop the best prices under the sun at Big O.
Big O Tires. Shop top brand tires with the lowest tire price guarantee and visit your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through August 27th, buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, National or Sumitomo brand tires with installation purchase. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra were permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. Match applies to identical tires at regular retail price. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Best kept secret. And I know it's been a lot of Brandon Ayuk, but we're about to get into the best kept secret. We have 279 who has a guess. But real quick, Josina Anderson, this stuff continues to come out. And Josina Anderson, Chris, from what I've read, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Nate, but it feels like Josina Anderson has a tight connection with the Steelers.
Yes.
Everything she's been reporting has been very Steelers specific. So she says this, adding what I'm hearing. My understanding is the Steelers believe an agreement is currently complete on their end and has been for an unspecified period now to trade for Brandon Ayuk, but that the organization is still waiting for final approvals from the Niners per source. Rap Sheet was the first to report this update. Additionally, when I asked about the reason for the ongoing delay in officially consummating a deal, I gathered from the rhetorical questions in response that there's a lingering curiosity on whether San Francisco is still reviewing its options and leverage. Again, I'm told it's a waiting game. So the San Francisco, again,
a lot of big words.
To that point, yes, very, very well written.
Yes.
To that point, I think, long story short, in layman's terms, the Niners are trying to figure out, okay, do we really want to do this, or do we want to try to get Parag on the line and figure out this money? That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. No, I'm here. I'm pretty much reading the same thing.
I don't think it's Brandon Ayuk. I think it's the Niners, and this is kind of what you said, going back to Brandon Ayuk with a new deal.
Yeah.
And if it's still not good enough for Brandon Ayuk, fine, let's do the Steelers.
Why is it taking this long, then? How long did they say it's been
unspecified period?
All right. Well, it feels like at least a week at this point. If you're going back to when Tomlin made that comment on that radio show.
Yeah.
If I guess that for some reason would be a buff, let's just say that's the time frame, right? I want to know what this deal is. I want to know what this offer is. Is it George Pickens? And
it can't be.
Well, what is it?
Maybe it's Freiermuth. Is it? Can I interest you in a Freiermuth?
You can interest me in Freiermuth, T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Okay,
that's who's interesting on
Casey
that team.
Hayward?
Sure.
Why not? Cameron Hayward.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
We'll have some fun with this later.
I'm not saying that that's the deal. I'm saying okay, let's say, if it's TJ Watt, you're sending stuff on top, but it's not. I mean, I don't think that's who it is. I'm just saying that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I got you.
There would be leaks about that most likely, right?
Yes.
From what I understand, though, from what I understand, the Steelers are a pretty tight-lipped organization as well.
That's what I'm saying.
The way they do stuff.
Josina seems to be their anointed source to get things
they're
out.
quote-unquote shill, maybe.
No.
Oh, no. Okay, no. Allegedly.
It's different because Josina's just saying what it is. She's not saying what a beautiful thing that the Steelers have done. Okay.
Well, not that you're saying,
Well, I'm
selective.
literally reading these. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Kings' best kept secret. Let's see if the 279 is correct, Chris. 279 says Keon Ellis' best kept secret on the Kings, the defense, the attitude, the drive. Keon is top-notch role player, which you obviously need for a team like Team USA. I mean, there's a reason Derek White just got on and got more time than Tatum did. So 279 is doing both. We talked about Team USA. We talked about the best kept secret on each team. 279 says maybe Keon could make a push. And he says, or they say Keon is that underrated dog from the 279. But this is just best kept secret for the teams. There's no connection to Team USA per se. But you never know, 279. You never know. Okay, Chris, what you got?
Yes, the Kings' best kept secret is, in fact, Keon Ellis. This is, again, from Bleacher Report, their article headlining every single NBA roster's best kept secret. And we'll go through some of the big Kings opponents' big secret as well, so that is revealed so nobody's surprised when that person inevitably gets a career high against the Sacramento Kings, because that's what always happens. Keon Ellis emerged from obscurity last season to start 21 games for Sacramento, bringing a level of energetic hustle and defensive intensity they weren't getting from anybody else at the guard position, not named Davion Mitchell. Headed into the 24-25 season, in which Sacramento will be even more over-indexed on score-first players, Ellis is going to become more important. If the 24-year-old shoots anywhere near where he did a year ago when he canned 41.7% of his 2.9 triples per game, it's a huge bonus. Ellis's true value will be as a defensive force capable of hiding his teammates' weaknesses. De'Aaron Fox has the quickness and length to be a quality defender, but he always struggles to navigate screens and doesn't consistently summon the requisite effort to be a difference maker. DeMar DeRozan has been a subpar defender for his entire career. Malik Monk's focus is always on the offensive end, and Domantas Sabonis doesn't have the lift or the foot speed to survive as a rim protector or in space around guards. Ellis is a wiry 6'6" shooting guard, which means he can't cover for all of those deficiencies by himself, but the Kings will need him on the floor as often as possible to make sure DeRozan and all the rest aren't getting cooked quite so badly on defense. That is, again, from Bleacher Report on their every NBA roster's best kept secret for the 24-25 season. One Keon Ellis, still a secret, apparently.
I think we all would have probably guessed that from kind of national media to pick Keon Ellis. And I would agree with it. I mean, from that perspective, I guess we can still say ours, since obviously we are a little bit more in the weeds as far as the team is concerned. I mean, honestly, you're tempted to say, or I'm tempted to say Devin Carter, even though I haven't seen him play.
Sure, that's a good one.
Simply because we know he was supposed to be more ready-made than some of these other prospects. He's going to come in January. Nobody's going to have any film or tape on him at all in the NBA, and he could come in like a hurricane and just wreck games. So I think it could easily be, I can't say it with that much confidence because he hasn't played in the NBA yet, and he's got to get used to a lot of things. But I think as far as we're concerned, Keon Ellis ain't a secret in Sacramento. No. So that's not even an option for me. So out of the options that there are, I mean, dare I say, could you say the return of Kevin Huerter? Could that be a best kept secret? I mean, everybody's been pouring on this guy, myself included. You could go in the Kevin Huerter direction if he returns or gets close to returning to form. So there's definitely a lot of options here. But Keon, he is not a secret out here in Sacramento for us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, is just who are even the other candidates. I think Kevin Huerter's a good shout that I probably wouldn't have said initially, but you definitely made a good argument for it. Colby Jones, I think, is a decent shout, but I wouldn't. That would be hoping that Colby Jones is going to have a big season. Trey Lyles, you could say, if you want to just say he's underappreciated in his role. My answer, I think, would be Alex Len, but knowing that's, again, nationally, probably something that's going to get laughed at. But it's just Alex Len played really, really well. Like, I think, again, the thing that I think makes him a best kept secret is he's just so unassuming. Like, everybody knows the name Alex Len. I think a lot of people maybe remember that he got drafted super high, and I think he just appears to be this big 7-footer who is clunky and is just getting there, is just out there because he's a big body. But we saw last year, like, he's a real player. He's a really good defender. He moves really well. He is a good screen setter. He's got some things to his offensive game in terms of I think he does actually have a pretty decent mid-range jump shot. He doesn't show off often. And he also is pretty good around the rim as well. You look at his defensive numbers, all the net ratings and defensive ratings and things like that. He was towards the top of the NBA just in general. And then for people coming off the bench, was definitely one of the best in the NBA in terms of all of those numbers. I would say Alex Len is probably the Kings' best kept secret, but even then, it's not like Alex Len is really hyper impacting games. He's just a really, really solid player that I think people think is a scrub.
916-339-1140. Who do you think will be the Kings' best kept secret going into the 2024-2025 season? Could be DeMar DeRozan, according to national media, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it's a secret that it actually does work. Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
916-339-1140. Who do you think will be the Kings' best kept secret in 2024-2025? Coming up next, how much baseball is too much baseball? Is it even too much baseball for one Alan Stiles?
That's my question.
How many games will be played in Sacramento on that turf in the heat? 145 degrees. We break down some new information that has come out about the River Cats and A's schedule coming up next, and we get back into some basketball at the top of the hour. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Michael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we make the dream of owning a new car easy and stress-free.
With prices that you just can't say no to. Save on our best selection of the year during the final days of the Honda Summer Event.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company, sold on report.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
How much baseball is too much baseball? Jake Gaden came out with some fascinating numbers yesterday, Chris, that you have broken down here. Interesting tidbit. The River Cats and Athletics have both released their 2025 schedules. There is not one game in which both teams will play at Sutter Health on the same day, which I don't think was too surprising. We talked about this before the show. That'd be insane. I mean, come on now. This is not the Little League World Series getting started. Shout out to Sacramento. They got close, but lost to Arizona. Somebody told me last week. We had Michelle Dapper on as well. But this isn't a round robin tournament in the summer. I mean, that's a little too much now. Okay, but they're not doing that. Instead, in the 6 months of the baseball season, there are only 29 days in which a game will not be played at Sutter Health Park. That's crazy.
It is insane, actually. And I will say, I didn't have, as we were putting together the show, I went through, I went through 4 months of play to see how many days off we really are going to have here in Sacramento in terms of not having a baseball game played at Sutter Health Park. Jake mentions that there's 29 throughout the entire season, throughout the entire 6 months. It's really crazy. I mean, I really wanted to see even if that was the pace, and the pace that I clocked is honestly, I mean, there must be a lot of those days later on in the season. I know the AAA season and the MLB season start at the same time, but I think the AAA season ends a little bit earlier. And so that kind of gives them some days off if I had to guess, but I literally went schedule side by side. They are both available right now for public consumption, the River Cats and the A's schedule for next season. In the month of May, they have 3 days in which there is not a baseball game played at Sutter Health Park. May 1st through the 4th, the River Cats are in town playing Reno. Then on the 5th, the very next day after the River Cats are done, the A's play the Seattle Mariners from the 5th through the 7th. They then get their first day of just having no events there on the 8th, only for the Yankees to go be in town from the 9th to the 11th. And then on the 11th, then on the 12th, there is another day off. So that's the second day off in a month, and that is the 8th and the 12th. Then on the 13th, the River Cats are back to play Salt Lake City from the 13th all the way through the 18th. There's then there's not a dead day on the 19th. The 19th through the 25th, the A's are in town to play the Angels and then the Phillies, and then the day off is on the 26th. So in the entire month of May, there's only 3 days off of baseball in Sacramento. You keep going on, June, same thing, 3 days, and it's a pretty similar schedule where the River Cats leave, the A's pick up. There might be a small break in between series, and that's the only day off. You get 3 days off in the month of June, 3 days off in the month of May, 2 days off technically, I guess not technically, spiritually in the month of July, plus you get 4 days off for the All-Star break. And then in August, we're on vacation. You get 4 days off of baseball in the month of August. I had to stop after that because you kind of get the point. There will not be many days, especially during summer, in which there will not be a baseball game played at Sutter Health Park. It's insane I know they're doing turf, but even just from a field maintenance and I'd assume just stadium maintenance, seems like it's going to be a bit of a headache. And, just from a logistics standard, I think that's a lot of baseball for people to want to buy into. I know people say Sacramento's a baseball town, but are we that much of a baseball town?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about what, 80 or so games for the A's specifically.
Yeah.
And then you have the River Cats games. Part of me, Chris, if I'm trying to be optimistic here, could say, hey, well, they're going to be some expensive, very similar to when you let's say the Kentucky Derby, right? A lot of people go to horse races the weekend of the Kentucky Derby because you're in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not gonna fly, you're not gonna go to the Kentucky Derby,
for sure not.
but you're in the mood,
Yeah.
right? Or the Masters are on, so you go to
golf,
Hagen Oaks or whatever it is, right? So I'm thinking, okay, well, some of these A's tickets are going to be expensive.
Sure.
Maybe the River Cats will benefit from that because the Yankees are in town. Oh, we didn't get to go to the Yankees tickets; they're a bit too expensive. But the River Cats are here too, so let's go to the River Cats game as well. Something like that. I'm thinking maybe that could help, but ultimately, that's me trying to be optimistic. Yeah. I do think very similar to people talking about oversaturation when you joke about Drake. It's going to be some oversaturation when it comes to baseball, and I think people might get burned out. And ultimately, of course, the River Cats are going to suffer more, way more than the A's. But yeah, that's a lot of baseball, man. That's a lot of baseball, and it's just every single day there's going to be something, and I think it's going to be cool. I think people will like it, but to some degree, but it's a lot. It's a lot. No, I just don't know if and that's not a Sacramento thing.
No, it's anyone's
appetite.
Yeah.
Anyone's appetite would be that strong for baseball. So I think it's going to be rough for the River Cats. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think so. I think because, I know you were definitely trying to do devil's advocate, but in that situation you laid out, I would just wait for the next game, right? You would just wait for the next Tigers. Yeah, exactly. Like, in theory, I'm sure from the River Cats side, that is the pitch that they are saying is you'll be in the mood for baseball. Here's a cheaper way of watching. If you're a Giants fan, you still get the opportunity to see your Camilo Duvals, and you're not going to be able to do that at that price point for the A's game. So that still exists, but again, it just feels like the River Cats are going to get the short end of that stick, and this is kind of why this is definitely, I shouldn't say this is why, but this is definitely a big contributor to why I feel like I think this Sacramento is a baseball town, and they're going to sell out for 2 years. I think it's a bit overblown
for the and
I just think that the fatigue is it's not even necessarily fatigue. It's just once you've done it once, you did it. And I think, there will be hardcore baseball fans who, are just going to say, Yankees are in town, Cubs, whatever, anyone's in town. Makes sense to go out there and experience the ballpark. But I don't know if by the time it's this point in the season, if it's mid-August and we've dealt with 4 games off for 4 months straight, or 4 days off for 4 months straight, I just kind of feel like everyone's going to get their fix in. And I don't know how much with the A's not labeling themselves as the Sacramento 8. I don't know how much interest there's going to be to really be a fan, like an actual fan, not just somebody who is a fan of the sport of baseball or wants to go to a game. Who is actually going to drive the day-to-day attendance of these A's games? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to exist.
Well, you make a good point because you have two sides here, right? You have the side that you just talked about, which is the U's of the world, the Nates of the world. Yeah. Hey, kind of into baseball.
2 a year, maybe 3.
It's in Sacramento. Maybe. Let's go check it out. You have that group.
Yep.
So,
which is, I would say, is probably the majority.
Yes. But there are enough people in Sacramento that maybe it'll rotate.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you have the other side, which is supposed to hold down the fort. Now, let's not forget, when it comes to the sellout thing, I do think they'll be able to pull it off because, they balloon numbers. They balloon numbers in big ballparks.
Give it to
this one.
Kids at schools, whatever.
They'll balloon those.
All that stuff.
So you have your side of it, and then you have the actual A's fans who I don't know. We'd have to, try to somehow do a poll on A's fans where some of them are still ticked off about the Oakland thing, even if they live in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So you're not even you might get you're really more so trying to sell to the Chris Watkins and Nates of the world.
Honestly.
And you're just praying that there are enough A's fans that love the team enough that they're still going to come to Sacramento. Ain't nobody in the Bay going to come to Sacramento.
No.
So it's specifically how many Sacramento Oakland A's fans that aren't ticked off enough at John Fisher or love their team more than how much they're ticked off at John Fisher are going to go to see what is currently now a losing team.
Yeah.
Let's also add that.
That's a big factor.
And they're exciting.
Yeah.
But
even if
they'll be better next season.
That's not really getting it done.
So it is, I think they are lucky that it'll be an intimate setting and there's not that many seats to fill for the optics of it and to say that this place sold out, but on a day-to-day, I feel like there might be enough Chris's and Nate's to get around the first couple years.
Yeah,
but
I think couple months. I don't think years.
I'm very fascinated by all this. You know what's interesting, Chris, because they're not connected, and obviously the Rivercats used to be connected to the A's. Even though they're not connected now, is there any type of, hey, since we're the Giants and we hooked you up, and really they might lose they might lose money this way, but again, it's about optics. Do you think there will be any collabs? Buy a ticket to the A's for the more expensive tickets, and you get a ticket to any of these Rivercats games that you want to go to.
That would be
just to keep butts in the
really
seats.
good. It would be. I mean, that's a great way of doing it. But yeah, I mean, you kind of bury the lead there. That's the Giants and the A's having to work together, and I know they had to work together a bit to get this far in the process, but. You know, I mean, I guess it makes sense for the Giants, but they probably also would want to collect some of that money. I mean, that would be the part of it that, you know, John Fisher is definitely trying to collect what he can from this situation.
Right.
Maybe, I mean,
how many backs are going to get scratched here? We scratched your back.
Vivek's got to get his back.
Exactly.
Right?
The Giants are like
free rent.
Well, we're scratching your back to have you in here.
Yes, in the first place. Right.
But now you have to scratch our back. You know, the 279, Chris, one thing Chris is forgetting, Yankee fans will come from NY to Sac. No one from any other team has been flying into Oakland for at least the last 4 years. There's going to be plenty of fans at every Sacramento A's game, and I'm a Giants fan, but I'll be taking my boys to see the historical games. Giants, Yankees, Sox, Dodgers. Sacramento A's are going to do so well here. So, I mean, the only thing I would give you 279 is if very similar, and I did something last week about and we can talk about this with Nate as well. Niners fans going to Rams training camp.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. I heard you talk about that.
So I'm just thinking here. Are you saying the one thing Chris forgetting? Fans will come to NY. No one from any other team has been flying into Oakland. So I don't know if that's true though, because
I don't know
from
if
the 279
from New York. Maybe there'll be a handful of people just to again say like, "Hey, I love baseball. This is a very unique, intimate ballpark."
No, but think about it like this: if you have kids or a family, the only way you're going to sell me on that 279 is if you're saying that they're going to go. And I'm not trying to make it a Bay Area thing versus Sacramento, but hey, we're in Northern California. We flew across the country, or let's say anywhere from the West. You live in Colorado, you're a Yankee fan. Yankee fans that don't live in California, okay? If you're going to Sacramento to watch a game, that's not the only thing you're doing.
I wouldn't think so.
The fact that you're not calling it the Sacramento A's, I don't know, and when you're bringing up the quote-unquote historic games, where is this going to fall in history? If I'm flying my kids out and I'm spending that money, we're going to do the Golden Gate Bridge. We're going to do Alcatraz. We're going to go to the state capitol. Maybe you could convince me on that. But I don't know how many people are going to do that, especially now, Chris, honestly, especially now with interleague play, where the Yankees, they go to the Giants. So you're a Yankee fan. Who would you rather go see? Especially because the price ain't going to be that different. Because it's intimate.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I also acknowledge, like, obviously, fans of other teams are going to go to the games. I was never not acknowledging that. I mean, that might be enough to make it look appearance-wise like it'll be good, but I just don't think the local interest, which is the thing, like, this is the Vegas argument, is that there's not, I mean, to a lesser extent, I think, but there's not enough local interest in the actual team that is owned by or I guess not in this case, owned by the city, but that is currently staying in the city. Yes, I know Dodger fans are going to show up. I know Yankee fans. I know Cubs fans. I know Giants fans are going to fill those things up, especially on weekend games. But what about, and not that anybody really does it because it is a baseball-wide problem that they've swept under the rug, but
and that's a great
how about
point
the Rockies on a Wednesday?
That's a great point, too. This isn't even just a Sacramento
it's not.
Or Oakland A's thing. The Oakland A's have had the worst attendance, but you fire up Sports Center and you watch those highlights, it's empty.
Yeah,
a lot of these places
Braves, Dodgers even.
The Tigers, the Royals. Who else, Chris? The Tigers, the Royals.
White Sox.
The White Sox.
I mean, what are the Cleveland Guardians going to draw here? What are the Minnesota Twins going to draw here?
And here's the thing, 916. So now they're kind of conflicting, right? Dodger fans have been taking over Oakland for years. But again, I am more on the side of the 916. I am more on the side of the 916 saying Dodger fans, because there are a lot of local Dodger fans as well.
Tons of
versus
local
Yankee fans flying from New York to Sacramento.
There's also probably a lot of Yankee fans in town. I mean, we know two of them, Jason Ross and Frankie Cardicelli. They'll be there
at
those games.
They'll be there.
Guarantee there will be.
They only play them here once a year.
Yes.
And by the way, I looked at the schedule. They don't even play the Dodgers at home next season. Did you know that?
No, yes.
They
I
play
think we talked about that last week.
In Los Angeles. Coming up next, the NBA is set to release the Emirates NBA Cup schedule. Emirates Cup.
There you go.
So cool. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for Are You? He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced stage. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you're in the market for a new car, shop Folsom Lake Kia. Low interest rates, low payments, and zero down deals with approval of credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hi, this is Frank LaRosa. And this is Scott Marsh. Join us weekly for Golf to Go right here on Sacktown Sports. We talk to all the local golf experts in the area and give you the latest on all the courses as well.
And not to mention all the golf legends and celebrities, along with all the latest in equipment and tournaments too.
Most importantly, we'll just have some fun talking about a game that's fun to play.
You know, it's my favorite hour of the week, Frank.
Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Sacktown Sports. Give us a listen. I think you'll enjoy it.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis, a two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
This thing is happening live here on Stiles and Watkins as the Emirates Cup is releasing the schedule. So we are monitoring it on NBA TV as it comes out, and we will have all of that for you. Chris is going to continue to break all of that down so we can get it for you. I am very curious. You talk about the oversaturation, and that's what happens when you have a long season. As we were talking about the A's and the River Cats, great conversation there. Keep your texts and calls coming in. Also the Sack Chat. But yeah, I mean, you have the Lakers. I mean, that was the worst case scenario, I think, for the Emirates Cup, for the Lakers to win it and then do absolutely nothing in the postseason. Because I really don't know, besides the money for some of these younger guys, I truly don't know what is the incentive for anyone to care. I think they almost convinced us where the knockout round was cool. I mean, in the moment, that's what's crazy, Chris. I think in the moment, you had the Tyrese Halliburton situation with Damian Lillard. Yep. And then obviously you had Zion taking on LeBron. So you had some situations where, okay, maybe this is something, but then the way it ended for the Lakers to win and just lay an egg in the season, it's almost like the timing, you can't change the timing because that's just doesn't make sense for the actual season. But where it just seemed like so long, it was almost a year ago.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely felt like to your point, by the time the season was over, it felt like it was completely irrelevant. And I wonder, I mean, I think year two is a big one for it. You know, the first year is everything's new, everything might feel fine, but like, you know, you're still kind of in the waiting out period. Now with it being a thing, you have a better understanding of what the results really mean in the grand scheme of things, which is nothing. But, you know, it did also spark, you could maybe argue that, you know, I'm sure the Pacers will say that run in the in-season tournament prepped them for their postseason run. And without that, they wouldn't have had the composure to whatever. And is that actually true?
JV teams.
Yeah, exactly. Is that actually true? I don't know. Probably not. I think it probably helps a little bit just in terms of experiencing that level of anxiety before and kind of not having it cripple you. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how, to your point, how these older teams especially view the in-season tournament. I doubt LeBron is going to give it nearly as much effort as he gave it last year. And yeah, just in general, how teams value it. I think teams wanted to be the first team to win it last year. And now that's obviously not something that's up for grabs. How much effort do you put into it more than your typical regular season game? We definitely saw teams put more effort, even on the coaching side, you know, talking about, hey, like point differential matters. And so make sure you got your foot on the gas all the way through. Are we going to see that, or are teams still just going to treat, or not still, but are teams going to move forward by treating these games just like they are what they are, which is regular season games that do have technically a boosted impact with some side tournament?
Yeah, as you're talking, I'm really trying to place myself back into that time frame when the NBA Cup was going on, right? The in-season tournament. And I remember, you know, hearing from De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown, and obviously this is the league that they're in, so they're going to speak well about it and talk well about it. And it did seem like they had at least convinced themselves that, this is pretty cool.
Ball. Yeah,
they all played ball.
So we got to do it anyway.
The court's different. The court, the great court, you know, the court's different. But besides that, it's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
You know, when we're having this conversation about, is LeBron the GOAT now because of what he did in the Olympics? I don't hear anyone saying, well, he's got that in-season tournament
Not
ring.
a single human.
I didn't hear anyone talk about that.
Yeah.
So really, what is it? You know who's my hot take to win it? My hot pick. You know this who's going to win it?
Anybody.
It's going to be the Spurs.
Why not?
The Spurs going to win it. Then everyone's say CP3 got something.
Got him something. Yep. Wemby, coming off the Olympic final L, it just fueled him at the beginning of the year.
Just fueled him. So I don't know, man. I feel like I had convinced in the moment. Maybe there is a world where it being cool in the moment is fine, and it being irrelevant by the end of the season is okay. I just don't know how you market that.
That's the tough part.
Or maybe their idea is it's for younger teams. It's for teams who haven't won anything, and it's just to kind of give you a little appetizer. And then when it's done, and I'm trying to remember when the championship was, December or January?
It was in. I'm trying to think. I want to say December. I was at the Vikings Raiders game when it was the championship.
So basically, I'm trying to find it now. But essentially, what I'm saying is, it just holds you on. Then you turn over, and you're in January, and it's the playoff push. So I get it.
It keeps the season flowing from their perspective, from the league-wide perspective.
There also seem to be and I don't know, and I know there are a lot of NFL fans that like to talk trash about the NBA, and honestly, a lot of NBA fans like to talk trash about the NBA. But there did seem to be a bit of a hate towards it, and this is so stupid. I mean, some people really hated it, and I do wonder why there was that level of just. It just almost disgusted people that they thought it was a cash grab. Shout out Christopher Lott and that drop,
little
but
participation trophy.
But it just was crazy how it really just pissed people off.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shouldn't upset you. Like, I think it's like the league.
Is that just me? Did you feel that?
There was definitely a portion of people that were definitely, like you said, just saying this is a money grab. What are we doing? What's actually the point of this? What is it? The incentive for teams? And I think those questions definitely still exist. And I think it's just like, I don't have a problem with the leagues trying to be innovative in this way for the sake of entertainment. Obviously, there has to be some sort of monetary value to it in order for them to actually go through with it. But at the same time, I do think that this was made with the intent and with the spirit of it being a really fun tournament for fans to get invested in and to enjoy, and for just something else, for it to not be title or bust. You could have something as a fan to where you can say, obviously you're not going to say, hey, but we won the in-season tournament, but you can at least say, well, that was a nice moment that we had this year that we can take moving forward. Or just to say, hey, this season wasn't a complete, utter failure. We at least had fun as a fan base watching them play well for those 3 weeks in November or whatever it is.
By the way, it was pretty much early December 9th. Wow. December 9th, 8th, because there's an article here, Lakers win inaugural in-season tournament. That came out on December 9th. So it was definitely
that's
early. I think, to your point, Chris, it does help force the teams, because they have pride, to not sell these games. There was a level of intensity in these games.
Definitely.
And I think that as a fan, that's what you want, because hey, I'll take a couple games where we know that they're playing 100%, even though the Kings still found a way to get blown out when they lost. But
shout out the Pellies.
Shout out the Pellies. They knocked them out. I forgot about that.
They sure did. Yep.
They knocked them out the in-season and the play-in.
Yep.
Crazy.
Not
crazy.
Ideal,
but
for sure.
Basically you have a situation where we get to see our team where they're really at
as
a team right now, because they're not going to cook this game. Especially if they get to the knockout round, we're going to see the best version of them in December, which you just normally don't get to see if your team doesn't play on Christmas.
Yeah, and it definitely could be an overreaction, and we have not seen it actually play out this way, but there's a chance, especially with this year. We talked yesterday about what is the point of waiting all the way till the NBA trade deadline to actually make a deal. There's a chance that the in-season tournament gives you a competitive enough environment to where you do get a feel for, it turns out we actually kind of do need to make that move for Kyle Kuzma or Cam Johnson if we want to. So there's a chance that in those competitive games, you do get a better sense of, hey, this is what we need. Hey, at the top level, when we are giving our 100%, there's still this extra gear that we're kind of missing. Maybe you wouldn't have that if it's not for the in-season tournament that early in the season. Again, we have not seen that actually play out that way, but in theory, you could maybe see how you could go through, the Kings get beat by the Pelicans. Maybe that should have been the first sign that, hey, we just don't have, not that you could have had the foresight to see it, but again, you maybe if you were more, urgent about every game being important for your season, you could maybe say, well, we clearly just have some issues with the roster that are not going to have us ever beat the Pelicans. You could diagnose that really early in the season. And I do think that that's a potential benefit. We just, like I said, haven't seen that actually play out.
Yeah, we have some of them here. The Tuesday, November 12th, Knicks at Sixers.
Ooh, cool.
Mavs at Warriors. The 15th, Lakers at Spurs. Grizzlies at Warriors. The 19th, Cavs at Celtics. Thunder at Spurs. The 22nd, Pacers at Bucks. Mavericks at Nuggets. The 26th, Bucks at Heat. Lakers at Suns. The 29th.
Our Knicks, guy Frankie Cardicelli has
Knicks at Hornets, Cavs at Hawks, Pelicans at Grizzlies, Clippers at Timberwolves, Thunder at Lakers, Tuesday, December 3rd, Magic at Knicks, and Warriors at Nuggets. Don't see the Kings there, Chris.
Frankie Cardicelli just dropped it.
Okay.
And we will tell everybody about it after the break.
After the break. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Where do you go when you need someone to represent you? For me, you want someone that is local and that you can actually get to and talk with. There are plenty of big branded lawyers out there with the name, but you never get to talk to them. So go to saclegaldefense.com and connect with the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He's local, he'll represent you, and he'll have your back. Whether it's expungements, wrongful termination, when you're in a spot when you need legal help, call the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at 916-304-9187.
Bing Maloney Golf Courses, 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
About to get into this Brock Purdy situation, and we've been very optimistic with Brock, but we'll have a talk about the other side. But first, Chris has the Kings piece of this as we talk in-season. So is it no longer the in-season tournament?
Correct.
It's just is it the NBA Emirates Cup or just the Emirates Cup?
The Emirates NBA Cup.
Oh.
It is called the NBA Cup. Emirates is the title sponsor.
For now.
For now, yes. It'll probably be the Amazon NBA Cup in like 5 years.
The Emirates NBA Cup.
Yes, quite a mouthful. But I think we can just call it the NBA Cup.
And the other thing, Chris, you know what I was thinking about?
What's that?
Then, especially because it was the Lakers and LeBron, then you had people judging how they celebrated. It was just so awkward last season.
Yeah. It's still being worked out. They're still hashing it out in terms of like how they're supposed to feel about it and everything. And I think fans too are a little confused as to how invested we're supposed to be and how much we're supposed to want our teams to win and just all of it. I mean, it is just a bit confusing in general. But yes, we do have the official slate of games for the NBA Cup, the group play stage that is, and this is our guy Frankie Cardicelli, of course, had it out first because he's just so incredible at these kind of things. He's got sources. Yeah, no national TV games for any of the Kings group stage games, which is definitely interesting. But on November 15th, we do open up the Emirates NBA Cup With the Timberwolves, the Minnesota Timberwolves will come to Golden One Center on November 15th at 7 p.m. to play the Sacramento Kings in the first game of group stage. I think that's a good thing if I can overanalyze the NBA Cup already. Probably a good thing to get the best team out of the way early. You definitely don't want to close and have that game be a must-win, obviously, against a really tough team. So if the Kings are going to lose, probably best to get it out of the way early so that way you at least know in those games coming up, if you do care about advancing to the groups or past the group stage, you know that you have to give those games a certain level of intensity. The second game will be on November 22nd in LA at the Intuit Dome. Maybe we can talk with Law Murray that day because the Kings will be playing the Clippers at 7:30 p.m. That is again on November 22nd. On November 29th, they will travel to Portland and play the Blazers. That'll be at 7 p.m. And then they will wrap up group stage play on December 3rd at home against the Houston Rockets at 7 p.m. So both home games, 7 p.m. You have a 7:30 game on the road against the Clippers and a 7 p.m. game on the road against the Blazers. Again, that is November 15th at home against the Timberwolves, November 22nd on the road against the Clippers, November 29th on the road against the Portland Trail Blazers, and December 3rd at home against the Houston Rockets to close out group stage play.
Interesting. What is this connection with the Timberwolves this season? I don't like this.
I don't either. I definitely don't either. There's not really much connecting them from a storyline perspective. Obviously, with them being the opening night as well, we're going to get pretty accustomed to it. And I guess in general, it's probably a good thing that the Kings do play. Again, same reason why I said they good for them to play the Timberwolves in the first stage of group play. Probably want to get those games against the T-Wolves out of the way early. The bad news, I guess, is that you play both of those Timberwolves games early in the season at home. And so the one or two that's later in the year potentially, again, we're still waiting for the entirety of the NBA schedule to be released. But you would assume that they are going to play at least one more game against the Timberwolves, and that'll be on the road. So, it's not great, but this is the problem with the Western Conference is every team you're going to play is going to be a tough one. And honestly, in terms of group stage play, pretty easy group. I don't really have a problem with the Kings having to beat out Minnesota. And, I think the Clippers are definitely going to take a step back. I think Portland's still going to be one of the worst teams in the West. And Houston, we'll see. We know that Houston gave this Kings team problems last year. Hopefully they can even things out.
After Houston, they got into it with the Warriors. And it's so funny. I mean, not that the Kings have anything to laugh about, but the Houston Rockets going at the Warriors about the last play-in spot. Warriors come out to play. And I think it was a guy who barely plays for the Rockets, and they proceed to lose. They lose to the Warriors. They don't even get into the play-in. And I think at the time, a lot of Kings fans were happy about that. Were you pretty surprised at all the money? And I know they spent big money in a weird way last season, the Rockets. Were you surprised, or have you been surprised that the Rockets have really done nothing this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit surprising. They did spend a lot last offseason to bring in Fred VanVleet. I'm not entirely sure. Dylan Brooks as well. They also added Steven Adams in the middle of last season, which went really under the radar because he was hurt. I think that they're still trying to figure it out. I mean, I think they're still banking on a lot of their young guys popping. Obviously, we mentioned Jalen Green earlier. Tari Eason's definitely a name that they're hoping takes a leap. Cam Whitmore as well is a name that they hope takes a leap. And then Jabari Smith Jr., the guy who was taken ahead of Keegan Murray. I think that the hope is that they have enough veterans to kind of help supply those young guys with a good enough roster to make a move. I think it's just what would the move be, and what would, I don't know, let's say they would have pursued, let's just throw it out there because it wasn't going to happen, but James Harden comes back to Houston.
Right.
I don't know really what that does for Houston. So I kind of feel like they're in a good spot now. Try and, get these young guys some playoff experience if you can. And then maybe 2-3 years from now, you do make the move where for some reason, Alperen Şengün's in trade rumors this offseason. Right. Maybe you do eventually flip one or two of those guys and you try and turn this thing into a real winner. But I like the direction Houston's going now. They were just a laughing stock for the past couple of years post James Harden. They get Ime in year one and start playing real serious basketball. So they're still early in their process too, and I think they're actually probably going to be fighting with the Warriors for that 10 seed again this year.
Coming up next, we've been very optimistic when it comes to Brock Purdy, but with everything that's been going on around Brock with Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams, what if he takes a step back? Let's have that conversation. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks or online sacksuperstore.com. Big inventory and the right deal. Experience it for yourself and see why their customers drive away smiling. It's the Sack Superstore difference.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. So, guys, there's something coming out here. We're about to get into Brock Purdy. There's something coming out that if Dave is still listening, I'm sure he's all over this. I don't think we're going to have time to break it down because I want to break it down appropriately as a whole. But apparently this Ray Gun thing, the Australian breakdancer, apparently she essentially scammed her way into the Olympics. All this stuff is coming out about the Dancing Federation and how and her and her husband being a part of the federation in Australia. And basically she scammed her way and into the Olympics and cost a lot of actual breakdancers in Australia the opportunity to go to the Olympics. So we'll have that story for you probably tomorrow in a What Are We Doing Wednesday. But yeah, this stuff is starting to come out, and it's pretty hilarious. And not hilarious to those kids, but I mean, she thought she was going to get there and cook. And she basically cooked the books and put herself in a situation where, you know, she was going to be able to, she was in control of who was judging, and, you know, you got what you wanted, and now she's going to get dragged. So we will have that full story for you tomorrow towards the end of the show. And What Are We Doing Wednesday. But first, Chris, or getting back to Brock Purdy, and Nate, of course, wants you to hop in on this too. Here are the Brock Purdy targets from last season. Juwan Jennings, 45. George Kittle, 99. Christian McCaffrey, 103. Deebo Samuel, 106. Brandon Ayuk, 116. So not a crazy amount more than Deebo, but then you got to think, okay, well, even if Deebo gets 10 more.
Deebo also missed a couple games.
Yeah,
too,
Deebo also missed a couple games. Even if Deebo gets 10 more to get to 116, where are the rest going to go? You already had Christian McCaffrey third as your running back. Juwan Jennings, okay, is it going to be a Juwan Jennings type year? Maybe that's what they're thinking. Ricky Pearsall enters the chat, and a lot of people are just really keeping it this simple, Chris. This simple. You're losing your best receiver. That's what he is. I don't know how many people would argue Deebo over Brandon Ayuk right now. And if you don't think he's your best receiver, he's definitely Brock Purdy's favorite receiver. If you're the Niners, is it really worth it? You're about to pay this guy. And if you look at the guys that they may have to lose, as we talk about the importance of Brandon Ayuk, if you talk about the guys that they may have to lose because they just can't pay everyone, does it feel like maybe they should have, even if Good Morning Football doesn't prioritize Brandon Ayuk a certain way, does it feel like the Niners should have, because he's attached to a dude who you may pay over $60 million a year next season?
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably should have earlier made the decision on Ayuk and Deebo. I mean, I think that was always going to be the tough one, in my opinion, at least, was, it was always going to be a bit of a handful to pay two receivers $50 million. And I just don't ever know if that was necessarily the best route for the Niners to go. And it felt like, they wanted to kind of have the best of every world and figure out if they could manage to keep them all. And I think now they're in a situation where they are having to select one, not necessarily because they didn't make that decision, but obviously if you make that Deebo decision a little bit earlier, or decision on one of the receivers a little bit earlier, you could have avoided all of this. And to kind of answer your target question, I would give the ball to Christian McCaffrey more. I read this last week on the show, but McCaffrey last season had his fewest targets in a non-injured season since his rookie year. His rookie season, he had 80. No, not even that. It was the fewest amount of targets he has had in a full healthy season. Rookie season, he had 113. Second year, 124. Year after that, 142. And then he got hurt and had 19. Got hurt. The following season after that had 41. Then the combined season that he had with the Panthers and the Niners, he had 108 targets. Last season, he only had 83. To me, it was the big question of last year. They were giving McCaffrey the ball a ton on the ground, but I didn't understand why they didn't utilize him more in the pass game. I think he is one of, if not the most dynamic running back in the NFL. And, they definitely fed him. 83 is not a few amount of targets, but you could definitely feature him more in the pass game, I would think, even like on the outside.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, He can run routes. We've seen it before.
He can throw touchdowns too. He can do it all.
He can do it all. We saw him do it all a couple seasons ago. And I think to that point, Chris, I don't know why we spent some time on this, and hopefully we don't do it again, because they'll handle it differently, even though they went to the Super Bowl and they almost won it. But they just don't. You got Elijah Mitchell, who he cannot stay on the field. You have Jordan Mason, who it's very clear to me that Kyle Shanahan wants to make Jordan Mason the number 2 running back. I think he just essentially waits for Elijah Mitchell to get hurt, and he never names Jordan Mason the second, but he's essentially the second. But even so, we understand how good Christian McCaffrey is. You and Nate were talking about gaming, right? And I'm not a gamer, but back in the day, if you have a move in Mortal Kombat or whatever that's working, it's hard to go away from it. And that move for the Niners is Christian McCaffrey. But you have to get other guys involved. And if you get Jordan Mason more touches, you can put Christian McCaffrey on the outside more.
Yeah, it could be any of the running backs. Yeah, I mean, it can be Elijah, it can be JP, it could be any of them. I mean, I don't even think you necessarily have to take down his rushing touches either. I think you can just feature him more in the pass game in general. I mean, I think there's no reason why he can't be just your everything. I understand you probably want to learn from last year, if anything, and say we would ideally like to give McCaffrey the ball less so he is a little bit more fresh for when the games actually matter. But yeah, I mean, you can also feature Debo a little bit more. I know him and Ayuk obviously don't do the same thing in terms of the spots on the field that they like to dominate, but you can get creative. You can get more into your Kyle Shanahan, slants and more players in motion and throws behind the line of scrimmage. You could definitely figure out how to get those other guys involved. I think the key is something that you and Nate were actually talking about a bit. I think it was in the pre-show. Can you replace that deep ball threat that Ayuk potentially is? I don't know if there's any answer for that because love Christian McCaffrey, but he can't take the top off the defense as well as be the best running back in the NFL.
No, that's just not something that's going to happen.
And we know Debo can't do that either. Traditionally hasn't.
It's not his bag.
Yeah. It can maybe be Kittle, but that's kind of asking for
is
a
it
little
Jennings?
We haven't. I mean, yeah. I am not familiar with that part of Juwan Jennings' game.
We had some fun with this when Nate and I were talking about this situation, and somebody, a Niner fan, commented on someone's account, one of the writers, I think it was Tim Kawakami, and said, well, yeah, but Chris Conley is taller and faster than Brandon Ayuk if Brandon Ayuk leaves. And someone else said, yeah, he's also not as good as Brandon Ayuk.
I was going to say, I mean, both of those, that's the funny thing about football is like both of those things can be true. Like he can be taller, he can be faster than Brandon Ayuk. Doesn't mean he's a better football player.
Yeah. Sure. And as it comes back to Brock Purdy, with all this being said, I mean, if Brock Purdy doesn't have Brandon Ayuk this season, I guess if you're the Niners, well, if we're going to pay you $60 million, you better be able to do what you got to do.
Make up for it.
With whoever. But I don't know that he will be able to, Chris. I'm going to be honest.
That's the question. That's the big question.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think if he loses Brandon Ayuk, just like and I don't think this is a Brock Purdy thing, but I think it could affect him more than some of the other elite quarterbacks. Yeah, is Joe Burrow as good if he loses Jamar Chase? Probably not. And I'm not calling Brandon Ayuk Jamar Chase, but I think that if he loses Brandon Ayuk, I'm not gonna say he's gonna play poorly, but I just don't see him being the same guy this season. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be tough for them to look like the same offense. I mean, even think about how much different the offense looked when Devo was out. And I mean, I think, a lot of people would probably say that they were a bit surprised by the fall off of Brock even from there. And I think it's kind of the problem that's going on with the Niners from a big picture perspective as well, is just how much do you trust Brock Purdy when he doesn't have his full cast? Like it has to say something, right? If he truly needs, and I don't believe it, but if he truly needs every single one of those superstar playmakers to be in place for him to look like the Brock Purdy we saw last year, that's a problem because that's obviously not going to exist for the entirety of his career. He needs to be able to survive without one of them. Like there should be games where you don't have Trent Williams or Debo, and maybe you do have Elijah Mitchell out there too. You should be able to survive because frankly, that's the life of a majority of quarterbacks in the league. And obviously not a majority of quarterbacks are great, but if Brock Purdy is going to want to be paid in that upper echelon, which it kind of doesn't matter, honestly, but if he wants to be regarded and kind of get the monkey off of his back of Mr. Irrelevant and of these questions of, I'm just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, he needs to succeed in a situation like that. And a lot of the reports from camp have been, he's been good, but a lot of people are saying he misses Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk, and I don't think that's a good sign.
Yeah, by the way, percent of QB pressures that turn into sacks, Josh Allen is at 10.3%, which is the best.
Yeah, so you want to be low on there.
Brock Purdy is at 14.6%.
That seems great.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He is 8th on the list.
Seems good.
You want to guess who's worse?
Well, there's
out of the starters, because Tommy DeVito is worse, but who is the worst out of the starters?
I mean, if he's 8th, then there's a lot of people that are worse than him.
Well, the worst in the league.
Oh, who is the worst of anybody?
Don't overthink it. It's pretty funny.
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
That's crazy because he's a scrambler too. Like, I mean, he's supposed to be able to move the pocket a little.
31.6%.
Which I guess, yeah. I mean, that's another bad Daniel Jones number, and that kind of speaks to him being a bit of a stiff back then.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill was at 30.2, so he's a whole percentage, over a percentage worse than Ryan Tannehill. And those are the only two starters in the 30s.
In the 30s.
Bryce Young was at 24.6 with Zach Wilson. Even Jimmy Garoppolo was at 24.1.
And that's of pressures that become sacks. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, you can't have essentially a third of the time when they're. I mean, that's pretty much one a down, right? Like one a series of downs. That's not good. And I mean, there's nothing more deflating, obviously, than not even getting a throw off. I mean, it's that I don't need to speak to why sacks are so important, but that does kind of speak a little bit to Brock's sneaky athleticism, if you will, that he really is pretty escapable in that pocket.
It's slippery.
And I mean, we've seen him move with his legs as well. Like that's I won't say it's unsurprising, but I'm not shocked that he's in the top 10.
It doesn't feel like he gets sacked a lot.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. Especially with that line.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat real quick. Do you think that's part of this whole thing with the Niners? Hey, yes, if you were to ask us to draw this up, we would have said, let's move off of Debo and we keep Brandon Ayuk. But we knew we couldn't keep both of them. It's kind of flipped to now we'll maybe keep Debo past this season, and Brandon Ayuk will be the one that's gone. And ultimately, if we're going to pay Brock over $60 million a year, this was going to happen anyway.
Some version of it, yeah.
Not necessarily what we wanted, but we knew we weren't going to be able to pay Debo and Ayuk, so it is what it is. Do you think there's any of that be in their thought process,
sure.
even if they botched it from April to get something back, but their thought process was, all right, we really wanted to keep Ayuk and move off of Debo, but this is how it ended up happening, and we knew we weren't going to be able to pay both these dudes.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's exactly what they're thinking. That's what they should be thinking. It's super unfortunate. I mean, I think they, like you said, they definitely wanted to, I think, do the opposite, where they keep Ayuk long-term and then tell Debo, hey, man, like, we used your body for the best years it's going to get. We're going to kind of ship you off as you're pushing towards your 30s, and we think your body's going to start breaking down. But, them's the breaks. And I think that adds, I guess I won't say it adds pressure, but it does bring the spotlight over to Ricky Pearsall and a bit say, like, this is kind of why you were drafted. And we, again, kind of thought it was going to be you were replacing more of the Debo side of things, but we're going to need you to, like, be a player here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I just love the switch up.
It's great.
I just love the switch up. Everybody's saying Ricky Pearsall, he might take this, he might take that, and now that you're actually staring at,
he has to.
Face,
it's like,
well, they need a
nobody said he was ready. Okay, hold on.
They need somebody. They need somebody. 916.
Juwan Jennings is actually pretty good.
Right. 916 wants us to run down quickly the list of the top 10 for all of the other quarterbacks of pressures that turn into sacks. Real quick, Josh Allen was best at 10.3%. Patrick Mahomes was second at 11.2%. Joe Flacco was number 3 at 11.9. Jared Goff, number 4 at 13.2. Geno Smith, that does not seem right at 13.9. I feel like Geno gets sacked all the time. 14% next was Trevor Siemian. After that, at 7th was Jalen Hurts. Again, Jalen Hurts, 14.5. Brock Purdy, 14.6. Justin Herbert, 15.6. And to round out the top 10, Jordan Love at 15.7. Tied with one Kirk Cousins. Coming up next, Carmelo Anthony says he wouldn't trade his gold medals for a championship ring. You believe him? Ashley also. We see it. We'll get to you on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of the spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 tests under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Hi, this is Frank LaRosa.
And this is Scott Marsh.
Join us weekly for Golf to Go right here on Sacktown Sports. We talk to all the local golf experts in the area and give you the latest on all the courses as well.
And not to mention all the golf legends and celebrities, along with all the latest in equipment and tournaments too.
Most importantly, we'll just have some fun talking about a game that's fun to play.
You know it's my favorite hour of the week, Frank.
Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Sacktown Sports. Give us a listen. I think you'll enjoy it.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
26 injuries this offseason so far for the Niners. 26. 26. About to have some fun with something Carmelo Anthony had to say. But first, let's get to Ashley. Wants to be a part of this Brock, Brandon Ayuk conversation. What's up, Ashley? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Not a whole lot, but as far as the Brandon Ayuk situation, I actually am curious. I don't really think that it's breaking news in the sense that it almost kind of sounds like the reports we almost got last week, in the sense that the contract with Ayuk and the Steelers had been worked out. But at this point, they're saying, okay, it seems like we got the framework, but we're still waiting on the Niners to sign off. But and that, I guess, is a little bit of a new piece. But and my perspective, the way I'm almost looking at it, is either I think that there is some sort of, either Ayuk doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh, or I think that there isn't really a conclusive framework, because from what I've been hearing a lot that the Niners want some sort of wide receiver, but Pittsburgh, it didn't seem like really wanted to part ways with any of the receivers in return for Ayuk. And so with that being said, part of me wonders almost how much this is more just kind of the same news that we already have, but maybe Schefter wanting to get some more views and kind of repurposing the story almost in a way.
Yeah, no, thanks for the call, Ashley. The only, as always, the only difference to me felt like this go round with the report, it was more about the Niners deciding if they want to go back to Ayuk for a last hoorah, versus last week where it felt like the Steelers hadn't given the Niners enough. Yes, it feels like the Niners now, based on how I'm reading this stuff, it feels like the Niners are getting enough from the Steelers. And now that the Steelers said, here, fine, dang, here, just take it. The Niners are saying, okay, well, now let's go back to Ayuk and see if we can do one last dance before accepting the deal. You're right, Ashley. It's a slight difference, but last week felt like everything we were hearing was the Steelers aren't there yet. The Niners want more. The Niners want more. This week it felt like, or it feels like, the Steelers are there, but now the Niners are thinking, all right, do we actually want to move off of Brandon Ayuk, or do we want to try to make this thing?
Because they haven't had any time to think about that.
Yeah, not this whole time.
None.
This whole time. From the 279, and Nate, I think you can help us with this. I've been saying for years the Niners need to fire and rehire the entire medical and training staff. How are you guys always one of the most injured teams? How do you Niners fans feel about that? Am I wrong? Nate, didn't they?
Yeah. Didn't you just read?
I was going to bring it up earlier when you
didn't they just refreshed it, right?
Yeah, I believe last season was a fresh start.
So, and again, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. Basically, the Niners have been in the top 10 since 2017 for injuries besides last season. That was the first season since 2017 that they were not in the top 10 for injuries. So, I mean, that helps, right? That helps, but was last season an aberration, or are they returning to form? 2017, 10th most, 2018, 4th, 2019, 6th, 2020, 1st, 2021, 3rd, 2022, 9th, 2023, 28th. And so Nate, last season was the first season with the new crew?
I believe so.
And now they went to 28. So you would think they were moving in the right direction, but who knows?
I'm not 100%. I don't know if you can really Google this or anything either, but I think it might have been the Trey Lance leg snap year, but I'm not 100% sure.
I would like to describe that as something else.
Yeah, let's not. Come on now. People have late lunches. All right, Nate, let's get into what Carmelo had to say, and we'll see if we think this is big cap, as the kids say, or do you believe what he had to say as far as the medals versus an NBA championship.
Would you trade your 3 Olympic gold medals for 1 NBA ring?
I've never been asked that question. No. When we talk about global sport, for me, a medal means something totally different than an NBA championship. They both have their own separate meanings, but winning a gold medal, it's the passion, it's the pride that you have, not just for a city or a state, for a whole nation, for a whole country, you're winning for it. So it's a different level of, I would say, pride that you have to have when you're wearing USA across your chest, or you're wearing Lithuania across your chest, right? It's a totally different feeling than Knicks, New York across your chest.
You believe him?
No. Well, I guess I shouldn't say no, but I think you can say that when you have 3 gold medals. I think maybe if you have 1 gold medal, you might cash it in.
Well, at first when I read this, I thought it was, would you trade 1 gold medal for a ring?
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, he is capping.
Yeah.
He is, capper of the year. Then when I saw, okay, all 3 for a ring.
Yeah. For
that's
1.
tough.
Yeah. It's tough. Cause I mean, that's kind of his thing. And like, you take away, and of course an NBA championship definitely does a lot for your legacy in general. I mean, we still hold Kawhi to a certain level because he did lead the Raptors to that championship. If Carmelo would have had one, I'm sure he's thought about in a different light, but one I'm exchanging for a title. 2, I understand how maybe that's not equal, but even then I'd probably consider it. 3 is just like, 3 is special. 3 is kind of, that just feels like it weighs a little bit more than 1 championship. I wouldn't say people regard Carmelo. Maybe I guess the Olympic Melo thing is enough of a thing, frankly, to where I think people respect it like it is almost like he is. This is almost like it's almost this is proof that just because he wasn't in the situation doesn't mean he wasn't capable of doing it.
Right. And then you get into, okay, well, what team would that have been on or whatever? To me, if Melo, how much more highly regarded would you say Dirk Nowitzki is than Carmelo?
It's maybe same tier, but Dirk is maybe like a couple spots higher.
Because that's all I think we're doing here.
Yeah.
I think if Carmelo gets a ring,
though,
I think he's still in the same tier. He just bumps up a couple spots.
Yeah, and maybe to the point, maybe the only tier separation is he has a title, he doesn't. But as individual players, Dirk, I would say Dirk has had a better career. But yeah, it's apples to apples at that point. It's really small marginal difference. And I don't really. Yeah, I think 3 is probably the equivalent of 1 title. But yeah, if you have 2 gold medals, you could make the argument of, of course you were on Team USA, you were on the best team. Just because you were there doesn't mean anything. But I think the fact that Carmelo played huge roles in getting those golds as well, that definitely helps him. But yeah, I would say him and Dirk are probably around the same level.
279. I didn't believe it hearing this story, but hearing him talk and kind of realizing he's been around the league and got to a point where no one would have even signed him, I say no cap to Melo. Good to you, big fella.
Yeah.
Rep the USA.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming up next, we play a little bang or bust NFL edition. Of course, you can play along too. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, Go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
All right, Michael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento's summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by RVs of Sacramento and Public Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we make the dream of owning a new car easy and stress-free.
With prices that you just can't say no to. Save on our best selection of the year during the final days of the Honda Summer Event.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Did you know this? As we get into a little bang or bust with the NFL, Ayuk led all receivers during the 2023 NFL season with 81.3% of his 75 receptions, resulting in either a first down or a touchdown. That's actually crazy.
That's insane.
That's nut. Put some respect, and I'm talking to myself here. Put some respect on Ayuk's name. 81.3%. Crazy, leading all receivers. But you can't pay him, huh? Because I don't like no. You got Yak Harlow. All right, let's get into a little bang or bust NFL edition, guys. I'm going to read these off. These are questions that I came up with all by myself.
Okay.
And we will go around the room and see if you think it will be a bang or a bust. And we will see what the listeners and viewers have to say as well.
Bang is positive. Bust is get it out.
Bang is it'll happen. Bust is get it out.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, Jaden Daniels will have a better rookie season than Caleb Williams. Bang or bust?
Yeah, this is Booger McFarland, right? Made this
Yeah.
big stink about how it's not even going to be close and all this stuff.
LSU bias, correct?
Yes,
right.
big LSU, like
Come on,
massive LSU bias.
Booger bias.
Booger's on my ultimate team.
Is he really?
My NCAA
I
ultimate
honestly don't think I knew he played football. I guess I probably
he's
should have
LSU.
assumed.
Yeah,
for LSU. Yep.
Well, I guess I should have put that together.
Booger.
That's a really tough one. I just don't have enough information to really go off of anything right now. I'll just say bust. I do feel pretty strongly that Caleb is going to be a special talent. As much as I'll hate it on the Bears, I just think they do have a really good offense set up. In terms of the weapons, it's a lot better than the personnel that Justin Fields had. I think he'll do fine. I don't think either will light the world on fire. I probably would have gone J.J. McCarthy, who's Rookie of the Year, pick over them. I think they're going to be fun, but I feel like they're going to have a lot of turnovers on both sides. I'll just say I'll bust that.
All right, for me, the Mike Breen bang.
Wow.
Yeah, despite Caleb Williams having a very nice purse, I will say I think Washington is going to be the better team. I think people are way too high on the Bears. It's consistent over the years. There's a curse there. And I'm getting onto some next level stuff, but quarterbacks just can't be good in Chicago, no matter what. When Jay Cutler is your yards leader for however long it was and still might be, I don't even know. It's just, I don't think it's going to work there. So it's more about the Bears being bad and less about the quarterback play. I think Washington's horrible too. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say Washington doesn't have a long history of great quarterbacks either.
I think Terry McLaurin is better than any receiver though in Chicago. Just that's my reason. That's it.
Okay. I'm going to agree with Chris. I think that's going to bust. I think, look, and maybe I'm getting caught up and seeing the highlights, and really I watched some of Caleb Williams. I did not catch Jaden Daniels live, but I did see some of the highlights. I know they both look pretty darn good, but I really liked what I saw from Caleb Williams. He just, whenever the game doesn't, this is what it is. These good quarterbacks, they're the reason why random people think that they can play the position. You got to make things look easy, and I know it was just the preseason, but things looked pretty easy for Caleb Williams. And that's the argument that's been the argument with Trey Lance. When I watch Trey Lance play football, it makes it very clear to me that I could not play the quarterback position because it looks hard, it looks difficult, and it looked easy for Caleb Williams. Number 2, bang or bust. Saquon Barkley will have a monster season with the Philadelphia Eagles. Bang or bust?
Absolute bust. I think we talked about this on the show. I think there's going to be a 4-week span where he's the best running back in the league, according to everybody. He's blowing up fantasy numbers, all that stuff. And then I don't know if it's injury that derails it or whatever, just the Eagles falling apart, this Sirianni situation, a lot of turmoil over there. I think it just falls off a cliff.
I don't know.
Okay.
I will. I'll bang that.
Okay.
Don't like that.
This is why.
Is that a 3?
No, that's bang. Do you not hear it? The bang?
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, hey, Alan.
It's one of those. It's like,
yeah. Well, you know what, Alan? This is Alan's fault.
Anyways, I'm gonna say bang. I'm gonna say bang because I will say I am a little bit concerned that you lose someone like a Jason Kelce, and your line is probably going to be a little bit worse for it. But I think the Eagles need to go back to pounding the rock. I feel like they are at their best when as I bang that. I am going to just assume that they are going to lean more in towards the run. I think last season was a little bit of a diversion into, hey, Jalen Hurts, we think he can be a dual threat quarterback and definitely more lean on his passing ability. Right. He was fine, but I think that team is best. Even last year when they were running with DeAndre Swift, I think Saquon could have a massive year. I think the problem is, it's a bit subjective in questioning, but I think in general, I think we're going to say Saquon had a good year.
Yeah, and I do think it's tough because, honestly, Chris, let's not forget the weird reports from A.J. Brown and is he mad on the sideline? So I think some of that might have been forced a little bit as far as the passing because you want to keep your guys happy. You pay them big money. You got two guys. And you got Devontae Smith as well. So I'm going to go bang. I do think that he's going to play well, Saquon, and have a bit of a bounce back type of big season for him. He's a running back. He's only got a couple seasons left to figure this thing out. So I think Saquon will definitely be, he went to Penn State. He's in Philly now. He'll definitely be juiced up to play some winning football and not just be the only option and look at loaded boxes every time he touches the ball. Next, the Cowboys actually make a playoff run. Bang or bust. You have a very, very motivated Dak Prescott who might not be the quarterback for the Cowboys next season, and he wants to get paid. And the best way to get paid, whether it's from the Cowboys or somebody else, is to go on a deep playoff run. You got to get CeeDee Lamb back too. But assuming they do, or whether they do or don't, the Cowboys actually make a legitimate playoff run. Bang or bust.
Yeah, I know the last part is definitely the key to this. CD has to play, but I'm going to say bang.
It's time.
It's time. I mean, the NFC, we talk about it every year. We talked about it last year. They're so much worse than the AFC. I mean, the lane is there. The Niners had the perfect season last year. It obviously took them to the Super Bowl. I kind of don't think with the injuries and just with last year everything lining up for the Niners, I do think maybe there's a possibility that the NFC is completely wide open. Now, of course, you might have to get through teams like the Niners and the Eagles in order to make this playoff run, but I do think the Cowboys are capable of it. They've been really, really good. They've just let the bottom fall out from underneath them the past couple of years. You mentioned Dak being motivated with his contract right around the corner. Nothing motivates anybody like a contract year. I think this is it. I think this is the year that they make a deep playoff run. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl, but I can see them in the NFC Championship game.
Nate?
Bust. It's the Cowboys. That's it. They can't do it. They're a disaster. They can't do it. They just fall apart, and now it's just constant drama. We talk about the Niners being like this, which some of it might be forced drama, but like this Cowboys thing is like they want to have problems constantly. I don't believe in any single person on that team. I don't believe in the coach. I don't believe in the quarterback. I believe their running back one is a 50-year-old Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not there for it.
And last but not least,
12-5 last year.
And they lost to the Packers.
They sure did.
I'm going with bang. I thought the Cowboys were going to go on a run last season and ultimately lose to the Niners, and they couldn't even do that. But yeah, I feel like everybody now the Lions are the sexy pick. The Lions have had a ton of injuries as well. We were talking about the Niners. One of these teams is going to take a step back. I mean, Jordan Love, we're still only operating off a half a season with him. So, and then we just talked about the Niners. So it's now or never, literally, with the Cowboys. And last but not least, Brock Purdy will once again be an MVP finalist. I guess that could include him winning, but even if he doesn't, an MVP finalist in voting. Bang or bust?
It's a bust. It's just not going to happen. I mean, last year, again, was the perfect season for them. If Ayuk's not going to be there, there's no shot. He had about as good of a season as I can imagine last season, and he still, I guess he technically was a finalist for it last year, but I just don't see that same level of production happening again. We've talked about the amount of could have been turnovers that weren't turnovers last year. I think some of that goes against Brock this season. And just in general, it feels like it's not going to go as perfectly as it went last year.
Nate?
I guess bust.
Come on, Nate, bang it.
No, I'm not banging it. We took the bang out of the system because it wasn't good enough. Bang is not in the system anymore. We're going to have to reapproach that a different day with less of a time crunch. But yeah, just sure. Because if I say he's good, I'm just going to get clowned on.
Oh, my gosh. Woe is me.
The Niners hater show.
Oh, my goodness.
All this show does is focus on the negativity with the 49ers.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That's why he was in all of our top 10s. Yeah, I'm going to go bust on this, assuming that Brandon Ayuk isn't on the team. So it's kind of connected. I think I would go bang if there was no Brandon Ayuk drama because I trust Kyle Shanahan as a play caller. But I just don't know that Brandon Ayuk is going to be in the red and gold. And without his number one receiver, I don't see Brock be able to – I'm not saying he's going to play bad, but to be a finalist in MVP voting, I don't see that without Brandon Ayuk, who, again, what was that percentage? 81.3% of Brandon Ayuk's 75 receptions resulted in either a first down or a touchdown. That's insane. He led all receivers. So you're losing that. And I think those numbers, whether you're talking about down the field yardage or touchdowns, really help Brock's MVP air yard conversation as well. So you not having that, that's a problem, Chris. That's a problem. Coming up next, we continue the conversation, also get back into some Kings NBA as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We will ask the question whether or not you think you'd be able to manage a baseball game in about 15 minutes. The Oakland Ballers, are offering a chance to manage their own baseball game, fan controlled. So we have details on that in 15 minutes. I feel like Whitey will have some fun with that as well, or he just won't respond and we'll have to move on to the next subject. But first, Chris, you have Will Levis, and this is actually annoying me now as we close the show, and it's been a great show, but now I'm starting to get annoyed because Will Levis, it dropped this morning. You know, he's got this deal. If someone isn't aware, Will Levis, quarterback, who knows what the Titans are doing, but Will Levis, quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, was famously putting mayonnaise in his coffee. And sorry if that makes you feel sick. I know it makes me feel a little bit queasy. Mayonnaise in his coffee Allen brings stinky lunches as some type of creamer. This was during the draft, if I'm not mistaken. And he immediately got to deal with Hellman's mayonnaise. And now
everybody's dream sponsor.
They have come up with something that is purely evil and disgusting. And they dropped a commercial today, which obviously looks like it's an SNL skit, but it is real. They have come out with a mayo-infused cologne. Parfum de mayonnaise. Daily supply is limited. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Chris, fair or foul?
It's very foul. Not even close to being fair. I want to say I'm like 90% sure that it's not real. Like not the ad, everything is very real, but I'm pretty sure they're not actually going to release this cologne. There's no way. I'm thinking that this is all just marketing done at its finest. If I had to guess. I mean, I'm looking at the website now and saying that there is a little bit too much that is showing that this is actually real. It's sold out. I mean, according to the website, according to Hellman's website, the $8 bottle of cologne is allegedly sold out.
But you can do that with anything.
Fragrance notes, I don't know if this adds to it. It's got shades of tart lemon, mayonnaise accord. At the heart of the fragrance lies a daring mayonnaise accord. The creamy and slightly tangy note adds an unexpected twist. Mirroring Will Levis's bold personality, the mayonnaise accord provides a rich, smooth texture to the fragrance, making it intriguingly complex and memorable. Parsley, coffee undertones, musk, creamy vanilla. Limit 1 per order.
Oh, darn. I really wanted to stack up.
Will Levis is sold out for today. The Scent of Greatness will be restocked tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So maybe it is real. Maybe it is.
You check at 10 a.m.
That'd be 7.
Dave will check.
Dave
will check.
Yeah.
That'll be something Dave will check.
Right on his alley. So apparently it is real. I thought it was like completely fake. You go to this website. What is it? WillLevis8.com. And they at least paid for GoDaddy to make a website for them. So I'm not 100%. I'm still not 100% sold that it is real, but there is an advertisement and everything. And if you go to the website, unfortunately, it is this man dipping his finger into mayonnaise and then putting that finger in.
That reminds me, because it's not Hellman's for is it the Duke's Mayo Bowl?
Yes, they tweeted
they pour mayo on whoever wins, the coach or whoever. This is gross.
Very gross.
And can you imagine, what if you sweat a little bit and you're wearing this stuff? That's disgusting.
I mean, what if you're in public and somebody smells you and is that mayonnaise? Is that mayonnaise I smell? Does mayonnaise even have like a distinct smell? I mean, I am not a frequent mayonnaise user.
I mean, it does.
I don't know if I would be able to like diagnose it immediately and be like, that's a mayonnaise.
You really got to put your nose in there to smell it. So I guess you got to.
This is one of those where it's nobody, literally nobody at all. Will Levis. Hey, do you want some mayonnaise cologne?
And then the whole thing started.
How is this the route that they decided to go with this?
The whole thing started with the mayo in the coffee.
Yes, exactly.
Does anybody else, any coffee drinkers out there, have you ever thought about putting mayo in there? Have you done it?
I got to see the rationale. Like, how does this happen?
Which part?
How does one decide of all things? Hey, let me put mayonnaise in my coffee. How does that? Is that like that?
Was it an accident? Maybe
it sounds like a frat bet.
Yeah,
it sounds like, hey man, take this shot of hot sauce and it'll be funny. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Oh, that actually wasn't as terrible as I thought. But there's no way that any logic, it shouldn't even be on the same table. Like I don't know where one would have even figured this out.
916-339-1140. You know. When Nate went to answer the phone, I knew it could only be one of maybe 2 people that were calling right now on this subject. And JR, of course, was one of those 2. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
Sex Panther, baby. That's what that is right there.
That is the opposite.
60% of the time it works every time. Woo! It's got bits of Panther in it.
It's got to.
You remember the scene? You remember the scene? And she's like, "It smells like someone ate Indian curry and baby pooped in a diaper, and they're all vomiting." Oh, you guys are making me sick. The good thing this is working for my diet because I don't feel like eating for the next 6 hours. Dude. You guys are great. Love
there
the
you
show.
go. Love you, JR.
Thanks,
That is
JR.
absolutely incredible. For those who don't understand the reference, that's an Anchorman.
Anchorman reference. Are you
Absolutely
finding anything?
incredible. No, I really wish I could have, but there is just it's just all about the fragrance. Maybe this is some tinfoil hat. Maybe he did this so that nobody can actually find out the reason. Maybe now when you type in Will Levis mayonnaise coffee, these stories pop up instead of why did this man decide to do that? Let's see here. I see it's going to take me a while to read through all this, but it's the Connecticut Insider is what I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Let's see here. It's not every day that somebody offers you to compensate with okay. This is I really don't think I'll be able to find this. 2021 video has 98,000 views.
I mean, look, I'm not hating because I don't think Will Levis is a very good quarterback. So he needed something to fall back on, and here it is from the 530. If you're out of milk, cream, or creamer, what else might you have in the fridge to put in coffee? Some people just won't drink it black. Yeah, sure.
Or you could just not drink the coffee that day. Be like,
no,
dang,
you need it.
I'm out.
You need it. Drink it black. Yeah, if there's no milk, creamer, I guess if sour cream, I guess mayo is better than sour cream. I think that's the thing about mayo. It's not like it's sweet. It's got a twang on it.
It's
got a twang on it.
I don't know where. Yeah, I mean, apparently this thing all started from a TikTok. It's not even really that he did it in his daily life and it came out. Apparently, for whatever reason, the first time he ever did it was on a TikTok.
Well, there you go. But like I said, I'm
Do
not
it for
hating.
the Vine, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not hating. Get paid because Will Levis. I don't know how long.
Here it is. I found it. Mirror UK. Levis first tried mayonnaise in his coffee while with his girlfriend at a restaurant. There was no cream or sugar on the table, so his girlfriend playfully suggested using the condiment, and he has stuck to it since. So there you go.
You know, it's funny. I wonder if she's getting it because they're not together anymore. She was
Give me that
famously,
percentage.
yeah, she was famous. She became famous during that draft night, and I don't believe they're together anymore because I think he's with one of the former Bachelor contestants, as far as
Great.
you know, one of the bachelorettes on The Bachelor. So I wonder if she's getting a cut from that. Coming up next, you think you can manage a baseball game? Well, the Ballers in Oakland might give you that chance. Also, if you're a Raiders fan and you haven't heard this story about C.J. Stroud, you might want to cover your ears. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game-scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you were young, all you wanted in the summer was an ice cream truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill up that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, with the A's starting rotation in flux for much of the year, left-hander J.P. Sears has been a constant. In fact, he hasn't missed a start going back to the beginning of last year. And when he beat the White Sox to begin the A's most recent homestand, that meant the A's had won 6 of his previous 7 starts. And during those 6 wins, his ERA was 1.73.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver. That includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay to stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by RVs of Sacramento and Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
30 more minutes with you on a Tuesday. Got to round out the show with some texts. Your favorite left-handed athlete, let us know who they are. National Left-Handers Day. I can't wait to tell the family so they can make me dinner.
Are you the only lefty in your family?
That's right.
Your immediate?
That's right. I'm it.
Wow.
I'm it.
Did you feel like an outcast, or like was it always like, this is cool that I'm special like
You know, I kind of want to save this for Whitey.
Okay, that's fine.
But I'm going to do it now.
No, it's okay.
Fine.
It's okay. Make them wait.
Okay.
Make them wait.
But it's just a decision that I plan on making with my children.
Good tease. That's a good tease.
Okay. Don't let me forget.
I won't. I'll put it in the rundown right now.
Getting back to the Mayo, 916 says butter and coffee is a thing. Is that a UK thing? Butter and coffee?
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink coffee, so I'm not super familiar with the do's and don'ts, but
you're always dunking something in your coffee. Donut.
It sounds like it's a fat thing. Like it's in terms of like if you put butter, if you put it seems like it's something that fat people do. It seems like it has something to do with the fat content of what you're putting in the coffee. That's the plus of it, I guess.
Look,
maybe it is for fat people too. I don't know.
And we're just having some fun here because as we talk about this, we have NBA Today on because we were waiting for the Emirates Cup as they release a schedule. Chris, and what are they talking about on NBA Today? Is there a realistic path where LeBron James and Steph Curry can team up?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not? I guess so. I mean, it is Team USA has a funny way of creating these super teams.
It would have to be now, right?
They even pulled out Bobby Marks for this. They're desperate.
It would have to be now, right? I mean, or I guess next year at the latest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to even just think. It says that they're both unrestricted in 2026. That would probably be the most likely. Yeah, 2 years away. I think the question would just be like, what would the destination be? Like, what would be the best place to house those two guys? I mean, I'm sure LeBron would probably want it in LA. I would think in a weird way, like in a weird respect kind of way, like Steph wouldn't want to do that to the Warriors.
Right.
So I don't know where that happy. Maybe it's Miami or something. Maybe for whatever reason,
Charlotte?
LeBron. Yeah, I don't know why LeBron would concede that, but
yeah,
that would be probably funny enough. The toughest obstacle in it is them trying to find a common ground because we saw them screaming and about to make out after the game and everything. They were right in each other's faces. They clearly enjoy each other. Yeah, like I think they would actually have fun, and I could see both of them trying to craft the storyline of we trying to hold off the youngins and still let them know, we're the old guard still got something to say. I can definitely see that being their motivation, but yeah, I just can't think of what place would be the right house to put them in.
Yeah, well, there is.
Please in the East, whatever it is, just put it in.
I
the
think
East,
it would definitely be in the
Please.
East. I mean, they're both, have the.
That's true. They're
Akron
both,
ties.
I guess. Yeah, East. Yeah, that's right. I forgot Steph.
So I think that that's how that would happen. Okay. And this is something else that Whitey would have some fun with. But the Oakland Ballers are giving fans a chance to, in part, manage a professional baseball game. This is from the SF Chronicle, Susan Slusser. Not all in-game decisions, to be clear, but when the Ballers host the Idaho Falls, it will be the first fan-controlled game since 1951. The St. Louis Browns held Grandstand Managers Night where fans collaborated on the lineup and then held up cards that said yes or no for various in-game decision. The Browns beat the Philadelphia A's 5-3 that night, and the Philadelphia manager, Jimmy Dykes, called it a farce. It was not happy.
Like a loser to me. Yeah.
He lost to fans. Yeah. Lost to a fan-driven game. Fans can weigh in on the Ballers lineup and game jerseys and even in-game decision-making from anywhere. But fans in the ballpark who take part in the group effort can win prizes during the game. I didn't look up what game. I might be hosting this game. So I need to see
incredible.
What
my God.
We got to double check what date this is. If you choose the fastball to throw with 2 strikes and I choose a curveball and the fastball wins, the batter strikes out, you're going to get points and I'm not. The better you do, the more power you earn and the higher you climb on the leaderboard. And we'll be doing giveaways for fans in attendance who are on the leaderboard, like, hey, number 1505, you called that pitch. Come on down. You get to sit in the bullpen for the next inning, or you get a new jersey or whatever. That sounds pretty darn cool.
That sounds
cool. Be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's different. It's a thing to, especially for like kids. Like you're trying to bring the whole family out and everything. I think it's a great way of getting kids involved and. Just in general, getting fans involved and having them not just be in the stands. Because let's be honest, in baseball games, especially in the stands, not everyone's locked into the game. It's the ultimate sport to just sit in your seat and talk with whoever you came with. And there's not, blaring music or anything playing throughout the duration of the game like there is in basketball. This at least keeps fans locked in on the game. And maybe it makes you want to go to another Oakland Ballers game.
So it's the last game in August.
Please.
No, I'll be in Philly. I'm
heartbroken.
It's a Saturday, August 31st. I will be in Philly though. Yeah. The 916 Cleveland, LeBron and Steph, both from Akron. Yes, sir. That is, or yes, ma'am. That is correct. Got some bad news, and this has come out, I think, before, but it's starting to recirculate. If you're a Raiders fan, I don't know how you're going to take this one, Chris. In 2023, Raiders GM Dave Ziegler had a deal in place to trade up for the second overall pick to draft CJ Stroud.
Okay.
And head coach Josh McDaniels overruled Ziegler. Okay. Josh McDaniels signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 3-year, $72 million deal instead.
Josh McDaniels, I don't think he's taken a single W his entire coaching career. Just turn after turn, it seems like that guy just made every mistake possible his entire time. Like, everybody says he's a decently fine X's and O's guy, but when it comes to personnel and just, getting to know your players, it just seems like he struck out every single time. And I can't imagine from a Raider fan perspective, knowing that you essentially missed out on what could be a franchise quarterback because Jimmy Garoppolo, how many games did Jimmy even play for them last year? Is it 6 even? Was it even half a season?
Yeah, it was so bad.
To know that you potentially lost a franchise quarterback because of some dude that was your quarterback for a couple weeks is pretty brutal.
I just don't know what they're doing. And this Shador thing,
don't either.
I saw one of the craziest stories. I saw that if the Cowboys lose, and this is good if you don't like the Cowboys. If the Cowboys lose Dak Prescott at the end of the season, they may find a way. And how much of a mess would this be, Chris? A complete nightmare. They might try to find a way to get one Shador Sanders. That's a disaster.
Especially if they have to trade up to do it, which I would assume they would. It's just, we don't know what Shador is going to be, so I guess I'll reserve judgment. But just in general, the premise, it's a bit, no, it's not really a bit like LeBron, but it's just like how much of it is just that you want him because he is a star, and Deion Sanders definitely has Cowboy ties and all that, but it seems like, again, not making the best move based off of actual football. It's just kind of also a little bit media driven or marketing driven, I should say.
And I know rookie deals are cheaper, but that he's probably going to ask for the most expensive rookie deal that is physically possible, which would, yes, be way cheaper than paying Dak $60 million. But to me, and I'm torn because the Raiders need a quarterback. I like Shador as a player.
Yeah.
It does feel like
Shador's in Vegas sounds like a nightmare.
Well, we saw him in Vegas. He was walking around with a 15-person entourage.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When this whole thing started and he was coming from the HBCU and we saw him in Colorado, I thought, man, I think this could be – I think he could be a good quarterback. It's not that. But as this thing has continued and the NIL deals and the social media handles on the back of the jersey – I'm normally not that guy, but this is another level. When you already feel like you're in the NFL, how do you work hard and make sure that you get to that next level?
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. I think it would be worse in Dallas with the spotlight and Jerry Jones because you're trying to insert a rookie into a win now team.
For sure.
At least with the Raiders. Hey, we want to be respectable.
We can build with you, yes.
Exactly. So I saw that, and that's got to be a complete nightmare. Coming up next, Whitey Gleason joins us as I tell a left-handed story. I'm sure Whitey knows a guy who was just named Lefty Pinky or some weird name from back in the day. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Labor Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Labor Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/3/24.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Welcome to the Tap House Restaurant at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course. With an array of local craft brews from a selection of 20 taps, the Tap House menu boasts freshly made sandwiches, crisp salads, and a variety of specialty entrees. The Tap House is the perfect place for a round after your round at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course, especially during happy hour from 3 to 6 daily. Drop by the Tap House Restaurant for scenic views, exquisite food, and a hearty welcome. The Tap House at Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
And investing in youth arch supports for your child or team is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Joined by Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason. Hello. 4 names, 1 megastar. Hey, I got Whitey to laugh. Chris, you see that?
I didn't actually.
Okay, fair enough. Whitey, I saved this story. Well, first of all, do you have any cool older athletes that were left-handed that maybe we don't know about, like Left Pinky, or they got funny names from back in the day.
Left Pinky?
Yeah, funny names from back in the day.
Who's your favorite lefty of all time, Whitey?
Yeah.
That's maybe a question we can get an answer for.
I don't know. Is Frank Tanana? Frank Tanana is my favorite, but no one knows who he is. So
I was going to say,
I'd say Sandy Koufax.
Sandy Koufax.
And also say Jim Zorn, Seattle Seahawks quarterback, who's left-handed.
As you guys know, I'm definitely not. I would describe myself as a baseball casual. What is the benefit of left-handed pitching? Like, what makes left-handed pitching specifically so tough?
I think it's just righties aren't used to it. It's a different look because they see they see righties all the time.
more times than not.
Well, yeah, it's a good question because righties typically prefer to face a righty is going to prefer facing a lefty.
Okay.
Typically.
Yeah.
It's that whole weird thing, Chris, about like a left-handed hitter. You were a left-handed hitter. Mm-hmm. That the swing is smoother, and a left-hander, a lot of times their delivery is like, ooh, that just looks better. I don't know what it is.
So I think we had this conversation at some point where it's just like lefties are unfair. Just like even the basketball shot of a left-handed player, I was always just like, it just looks smooth. It just looks like you have a level of finesse that is only unlocked if you're left-handed.
I'm convinced it has something to do with the hemispheres of the brain, but
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Too much time talking about that.
But I will say the one sport and the one position where you don't get that, and it's funny because it's a lot of people would say the most important position in sports. I don't think lefty quarterbacks, people don't like it.
No.
They talk about how the spin is different.
Yeah.
So who is it? You had, and it's funny enough, they were both on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Mike Vick, and now you have Michael Penix. And you got Tua and
Steve Young wasn't bad.
Steve Young. Okay, I was getting there. Kind of Steve Young's my guy.
How about Belichick employing left-footed punters when he can?
Yeah.
Really? Just for that same kind of reason where it's just like it's different. Yeah, it's just different.
That, by the way,
that's when you're winning, man.
The most underrated, difficult thing to do in sports is catch a punt.
Yeah, with the spiral of even if the spiral or the end over.
Oh, yeah.
Either one. I mean,
That's not easy.
either one. It's
add it to the Sacktown Olympics.
We can make it happen.
Yeah, with the rest of the stuff. You know, they had on the Ocho this weekend. Did you see that? And I thought it was kind of funny that they had on ESPN the Ocho while the Olympics were going on, almost as a joke. And I don't want to disrespect anybody here. You ever see this fling golf?
No.
What are they fling?
I know
disc
golf?
No. This thing is, it looks like, imagine a lacrosse stick, but where the net is, it's a small apparatus that fits a golf ball.
Okay.
And you fling it.
It's almost like a chuck it for your dog.
It's crazy. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I have seen that. I saw another one today, and I'm not even sure this is real. Roof ball.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the
that?
videos of it.
What is
throw
that?
the ball on the roof, and then you get points.
It's like you're a kid.
Whose roof?
Just like your house, of your house.
Yeah.
It's Alan's worst nightmare, by
Honestly,
the way. Alan was very proud to tell us this morning that he snitched on his upstairs neighbors. So I'm sure he would love I'm sure he would love that. All the kids are playing roof ball outside, you know. Alan's like, what's going on out here? Hey!
They'll play roof ball before 9 o'clock. Then you can play roof ball. I mean, what's up there?
I used to live
up there.
When I was going to college, me and 3 other friends, we were in this flat in San Francisco, and then we had the backyard, and we put a little golf course back there, but the fence was gone. So the neighboring yard, which these Chinese people owned, we just used that too. And sometimes they would come out and yell at us in Chinese, and we would just go, yeah, I know. Sorry. What are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
And then when insurance came out because there was a storm, and I guess they said their fence blew down, insurance came to ask us. We said, no, that fence is never there.
See all those golf balls over there?
That fence was never there.
Wow.
I don't know what they're trying to pull.
But this is what I was saving for you, Whitey, because, you know, obviously I got the kiddo, and for any of the future kiddos, now that I've played baseball as a left-hander, I was wondering, now that I've gone through the process, why, if you are somebody who thinks you want your kid to play baseball, right, and they start throwing, why isn't every lefty ambidextrous as a thrower? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, and maybe I'm crazy here, but now that I'm thinking about it, if I see, and right now she's throwing righty, so
you're saying every kid is like a blank slate.
Every kid that throws lefty,
teach them to throw.
Every kid that throws lefty, while they're still growing and learning how to throw anyway, if we know how limited it is for you to play baseball as a left-handed thrower, why don't more parents say, hey, you can throw left-handed, but throw right-handed too?
See, that's a great question, because I don't know. It might be that you are born right-handed or left-handed, and it just takes a while for that to become a parent.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
I'm just thinking simply because you're learning how to throw anyway, you might be more conditioned to throw with your left hand because of your brain. But since you're learning, it's just like learning a language at a young age. Since it's exactly what they say. If you're going to learn a different language, learn them when you're young and you're learning languages anyway. Because I'm thinking, if she did throw lefty, I would just put it in her right hand too, because you're just going to learn to throw with both, because we know you can only play a couple positions.
Right. Did you know in some cultures, like, that's considered bad luck?
Oh, it was in this culture.
Yeah,
it was in this. On this show, we looked up the amount of lefties, how they changed.
Yes, you looked it up once.
Yes.
You were very adamant about it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not keeping up with lefty studies.
I think the word sinister, seriously, the root has something to do with being left-handed, I think. I'm serious.
Wasn't Barry Bonds, he was born right-handed, but his dad taught him how to hit left-handed, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he throw? I don't know. Barry threw lefty, though, I thought.
I could be wrong. I
think Barry threw lefty.
Yeah. He's not included on any of the best lefties list.
Yeah.
5
throw right, bat left is pretty common, but bat right, throw left is really uncommon. Yeah. But I think that's Ricky. Wasn't Ricky bat right, throw left?
Yeah. That's actually the worst combination you can come up with.
That's why he was so terrible.
I'm just saying. Barry. Now, Chris had me tripping. Barry definitely threw lefty.
Okay, gotcha.
530. I have 2 lefty boys in baseball. No other lefties in my fam. How old are they? Put it in their right hand. Put it in their right hand if they're throwing lefty. I'm just saying.
Or just play them in right field or first base or pitch.
Yeah, but then you got the whole infield. I'm telling you, right, Whitey.
Center field, you could be left-handed.
No. If she starts throwing with her left hand, I'm saying, don't do it.
She's a lucky young lady.
Oh, I think. Well, we all know that. All right. Last but not least, Tom Brady, footballer Tom Brady. This is from Dove Kleiman.
I'm glad you said footballer.
Well, I'm just saying.
Like, who's Tom Brady?
Right,
Chris?
I'm Ron Burgundy here.
The footballer. Yeah.
Tom Brady's wife filed for divorce and demanded half of his property. However, she was informed by the court that her millionaire husband owns nothing. All his property is registered under his mother's name. How would he have pulled that off being married? How is that even possible? How's that possible?
He's a smart guy. He's got good representation.
How is that possible?
Saw this coming.
Yeah. We saw, Whitey, that Steph Curry, this is where we're at in the offseason. We saw Steph Curry and LeBron, NBA Today, trying to figure out if they could actually team up. It's not going to happen, right?
I don't know, but everyone seems to be talking about it, right? I know Sam Amick wrote about it today.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe he had to. Maybe someone said, hey, we need you to put a piece together of if they played together. He said, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
no thanks.
Yeah, 2026. That's another year of mileage. I just don't see it. And if I do see it, they're going to need help. They're going to need help at some point in time to pull this thing off.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
They both almost happened. You remember when the Warriors supposedly were in on Durant again?
Yeah.
And last year at the deadline, right? The Warriors were pursuing LeBron.
They were.
So, I mean, I think that's it. I think that door is shut now, but I think it was open as recently as 6 months ago, whatever it was.
NBA Cup, Whitey.
Yeah.
Yes. The schedule is out. Are you more excited or less excited than you were about it last season? Basically, I'm asking.
I understand what you're asking. The answer is less.
Well, every time I ask you a question, you're like, oh, well, what's the question? So I was being very clear that time. So you're less excited. So it didn't help.
I was listening to you guys today, of course, and here to me is the thing about why there's some resentment for the in-season tournament. We know what the league gets out of it, right? A ton of money. They get, and of course they should. It's a business. Mm-hmm. Players get a ton of money also. Remember the Kings, and I'm sure other teams did it too, or something similar.
That's right.
This is why this matters to you guys. You could win this much money. You know what? You could win with this much money. You know what you could buy with this much money.
Right.
So I get that. But what do I get out of it? What do fans get out of it? Theoretically, we get better basketball, but do we? So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, this is just you guys are making more money off of me, and what am I getting out of it? And I think that's still a question that's unanswered.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing was, like you said, competitive basketball. I enjoyed that tournament. I mean, in part it was because the Kings got to the knockout round, but in the moment I enjoyed it. Obviously, looking back on it, it was a nothing burger. But in the moment, I did enjoy it more than a normal game. I mean, it had me watching. Who was it? With the Pacers versus whoever, Pacers Bucks. I don't know if I'm firing that up on if it's a random Tuesday.
Yeah, Pacers Lakers was a championship, right?
It was, yeah.
That Pacers Bucks game. I remember watching that. I think the Kings played that night.
Yeah.
So yeah, but looking back on that, the Lakers won the in-season tournament. It's almost embarrassing.
That's what hurt them. That's what hurt them. They needed the Lakers to make a run to give it. I think for it to be the Lakers, they need to make a run. If it's a random young team, my early pick to Chris was the Spurs. I think that helps too. But a team like the Lakers, and then they don't go on a run. What are we doing here?
I had the Kings beating the Hawks last year, as Chris may remember.
Yes,
so
I do.
Way off on that one.
A little bit.
There you go. Well, you're going to be on all show long because that's what you do. Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. The Drive Guys coming up next. Thank you to all the callers, texters. Thank you to Law Murray and Nate doing a great job as always. Stiles and Watkins. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
It's a toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30.